happy things, you know? We went off on tangents. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Discussing Tabletop, where we're going to talk about happy things, because we're going off on non-great tangents on the side there, the pre-show. Hey, it's August 8th. We're diving deep into August. We'll have a little bit of leftovers, a few leftovers around Gen Con, but we did hit most of the major things that were announced, with a little bit of other things to talk about today, and a topic that I had from last week that I just moved over here. So it's going to be a fun one to dive into. But I guess we can kind of start with our little basic little intro and warm-up and see how everybody's weeks went and how it went. I've never remember who I start with. Momo, I'll start with you today. How'd your week go?
Okay, hello. My week has been ups and downs because I haven't had a day off in like 6 days.
Oof.
But I've been doing a lot of D&D writing, probably way too much. That these are things none of you are going to ask questions about because that's what always happens when I write a lot of D&D information.
God, I understand this, but at very least it was like
But I'm
basically.
kind of happy that none of you people were like, hey, why is this woman saying depth a lot? Because it let me actually write that information down coherently.
I was just thinking because like I had to go in and I'm like, okay, I'm bad at equipment. How bad is this adventure in equipment? Ah, terrible. So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff that has shown up already. That's just like, here, have some gear.
Then I started reading some Halo stuff and playing more Halo. I'm on a big Halo kick right now because I just want that sweet 2001 nostalgia.
I find that sad, but also like it's understandable too. It's like, man, 2001, that was a great time, and I'm like, in
I was
ways
a
it
kid.
kind
I
of
didn't have to
was.
think about the world. I could
God,
just play Halo.
yeah, like that would have been, I played Magic and stuff like that. I was hanging out,
Just playing Master Chief, shooting aliens.
I was staying up way too late playing Disguise and then falling asleep and then waking up and being like, huh, it's been another like 10 hours of after my game because I fell asleep in the middle of it. I probably should stay until I go to school.
We
I did that a lot. I had like a game that was like 300 hours, and I think at least half of it was me being asleep. This guy.
Halo's cool. Yeah, I still think Halo's cool despite recent games not being the best, but it is what it is.
The world seemed interesting enough in the one
The
world
only
stuff.
bad Halo game is Halo 5, and you can't play it anyways because it's only on Xbox One.
Kind of like we're finally getting Metal Gear 4 not on
Yeah, that's
PS3.
actually gonna be a playable game for a modern audience because you can't even emulate that game.
Is it the PS3 that you can emulate, or is it just that issues with
It's
that game?
specifically the furthest anyone has gotten Metal Gear Solid 4 emulation is the main menu, and that's it.
Wow, there's just something wrong with the game.
It's there's no one's figured it out. Yep.
Jeez.
I mean, it took until a couple years ago for Jack and Dexter to become emulatable, so it's just a long process for some games.
Yeah, it's like you think about some of the easier ones. It's like I know, like also you can uh, find ways to play Bloodborne, not
It
nowadays.
works most of the time. You just need a really good PC.
Yeah. Worm, how was your week?
Chill, I guess. Actually, no. Okay, so I have no idea what was going on, but like my one of the sales reps, who is like I think 78 at this point. My company is full of a bunch of old people, and it's causing the company to fall apart. But that's a whole different issue. Although this may be related to the fact that he's old. Anyway, the point is that like, we were doing this thing where it's like, okay, we're separating out part of the cost because basically in shipping, there's a section called fuel surcharge, which is basically the charge for fuel.
Yeah.
Because fuel is so expensive, and so because that's been so volatile lately, we said we're only going to be charging it at the time of shipment. And for whatever reason, all he had to do was change like one thing, but then he went and he changed the entire spreadsheet, the entire pricing. And I had to like walk him through. I'm like, no, what is going on? And like I had to walk him back from it. I have no idea why he did this.
Sounds like a interesting
Nice.
problem to have, you know?
Yeah.
Oof. Well, hopefully it can be, no more issues, or if that's the worst of it, or, the usual kind of thing like that. Hopefully it's not worse. Fingers crossed for you.
Yeah.
So, I think I can say, like, my week was fine. There was a couple interesting things. I think I ended up watching a couple of interesting videos this week. I have to think which one it was. The one that came out, was it earlier today? It was because I've been watching a couple of times of Pancreas No Work stuff too. 'Cause he does some great stuff. He did
digital video, right?
he did Cadia video. And
Oh, well, okay. He has 2 channels. No, he has 4 channels, I think.
I've only seen some of his. I started a little while ago watching his dungeon stuff, and then I'm like, oh yeah, you have this stuff on Warhammer too, because I've gotten also kind of into
His
some
Warhammer stuff's
now.
good.
Yeah, but I was watching some of his D&D related stuff. I really liked his video on Sigil because it made Sigil sound so much better than Joe did. I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah,
I
part of
bet.
that game is because the little I was in that game, I'm like, this
We
isn't
literally
how Sigil is in
90% of what we
Planescape Torment.
yeah, like we didn't like do much with Sigil. It was
Sigil was a backdrop. It wasn't like an actual character in it. Where
Yeah,
like
you can't do Sigil as a backdrop.
yeah, it needs to be more of a character, and I
It's
think that was the
it's
problem.
too interesting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, Joe wanted to do it because he likes Sigil, but then he didn't show off the factions.
That's
It
so
was just
weird.
all the factions just were immediately against us.
Nice.
There wasn't really any like, so it was kind of just like, cool, they're all enemy, blur together enemy.
And like we didn't have like adventures in Sigil. We traveled from one place and had adventures
We went to like
at a
the
place.
outer places, right?
Yeah.
I remember we went to the underside for like the 3 sessions I was in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
the
that
outer
was
places
enough.
are cool too.
It was enough for me. Like, I'm not really that interested in this. Sorry.
Yeah. We would just basically like end up in places a lot of time. Like we didn't narrate a lot of like the in between. No, granted, while we were getting to higher levels, it wasn't really necessary. But at lower levels, I think we could have had some more
Yeah.
like adventures.
Well,
in the city.
again, you do got to remember that middle bit where we were wandering the outskirts of Sigil was from the Planescape book.
Which that book is very bad.
And yes, it has been touted as being one of the worst adventures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Worst balanced, worst plot. In fact, I'm pretty sure the weird baseball thing was from that adventure.
It is. Yeah, it is from there.
So yeah, so I can see like why like unfortunately relying on that was a bad part of displaying of Sigil, and we just hadn't had a chance to, go a different direction after that. And I can understand that too. We had the story to go, so kind of it is what it is, as I guess with that one. So but it was interesting a much more a decent look at Sigil, I think is what it was. It was a very simple look at Sigil, but it was from this presenting it in a very like informative way rather than faction stab us in the face 3 seconds into being there, kind of way.
Yeah.
So and yeah, the Cadia video was kind of interesting too. So those were very fun.
I rewatched an Adric. I rewatched the Caiaphas Cain Adric episode at work, and I got reminded of truly the best excerpt from a Warhammer book is just Cain facing down a demonette of Slanesh and just going, "Sorry, I prefer blondes," and then shooting her.
God. Yeah. It's sort of like sometimes I think it's the thing of like, it's with a lot of extended universe media. When it hits well, and when it's bad,
the Caiaphas Cain books are some of the best books in the franchise. So.
Well,
they're all written by the same author too, so they're consistent.
Well, it's like I'm thinking about that and thinking about like it's everybody. I think it's and then also the Slaughter books.
What you don't find "We Watch from Death" a compelling quote? The book series that single-handedly killed any interest I had at Death Watch.
Ooh. No, those books were. I was glad I didn't have to read those. I'm gonna say like
No,
someone else
I've
suffered
read.
so I could learn about what
I
happened.
got about halfway through when those were coming out, and I could not finish them.
But it made me think of like, as much as I haven't really dove into like things like Star Trek, Star Wars media, I did take like a toe into like, you know, some of the extended like magic novels back in the early days and D&D novels back in like, you know, that was probably TSR era a little bit too. And they were very also like hit and miss. And I'm wondering how much the, you know, Star Trek, Star Wars were also hit and miss, because everybody talks about the really good ones, but what about the
can tell
really
you-
bad ones?
Most of the Star Trek and Star Wars novels are bad.
Yeah, I figured. It's like everybody talks about the really good ones, and I'm like, yeah, because it's been.
It's just like how most of the Star Trek movies are also bad.
Like even the ones that are in quotation more good, because the is it evens or odds that people are say are good? I think
I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. I think they're all bad.
they're fine. I think is what it is, and I think they're like sort of like mixed bag about that. You know, read all the Star Wars and rank them. I think that's a Star Wars Old Canon Book Club. If you want to see
Yeah,
anything close to
Jesse,
that,
Alex, and that other guy.
they're slowly going through that. They were going through the comics, and
They're at the 90s now, I think.
I had to like stop watching or listening to some of their ones on the comic books, because those are like the comic books were
comics
not
are
good.
Star Wars comics are a whole different
They were
mess.
not good. Interesting, but not good. And it was like, man, I can only take so much of this.
I'm just waiting till they get to the bit where a moon falls on Chewbacca and kills him.
Yep, that's Star Wars. So you know, it's always interesting, like for a lot of these, just to hear about like the good ones versus the bad ones a lot of times. I just found a little pewter dragon.
Okay,
There's
nice.
been this like old board game that's been sitting on the shelf here, and like I didn't realize it's got a little thing that opens up on it, and inside was pewter dragon and a treasure chest. I don't even remember what this game was. It's like, but weird. It's like a discovery of like, what the fuck is this? And it's got a little open drawer. God damn it. It's a weird day. Shall we get into our topics before my brain breaks even more?
We can talk about stuff.
We can talk about stuff. Let's talk about some RPG stuff. And I guess I'll get some some links here. I guess we can start out with
I'll stop zoning out. I
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Sorry.
You know,
Just
so
two absolute losers talking about stuff. It's fine.
no. That's good. So other than we get ourselves a Jimothy in Paizo now.
We love Jimothy.
But apparently also Kobold Press is bringing us some Jimothy too related stuff too.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah, I was looking at like, because you said T-Rex was the only thing that you could ride, and I'm like, I thought there was a Triceratops. And I went and looked, and I saw.
Yes,
and there is
the Triceratops. The T-Rex was the only like carnivore I was thinking riding, because I was thinking going carnivore. Sorry, I probably should preference that more. I did see the Triceratops.
My point though is that when I did that, that's when I saw that they put it on Aeon. They put Jimothy on Aeon. And I'm like, wait, is this like official? And I looked and it linked to this post.
Yep.
And yeah, so this was made by the official people, but like it's just kind of funny that it's on Aeon as well.
Yeah. They're sharing us with the great and powerful Jimothy. Now he too can be your unique animal minion.
He's just a cute little guy.
Just a cute little guy. Whose amazing adventures should be documented from afar, as he continues his nice life in his area. And I support that. Getting some like nice little camera footage of those little things without interfering in him. That's what he
The
should
blurrier the footage, the better.
Exactly. Shows that you're not interfering with him and he's going about his ways. So Jimothy, yay! So there's a bunch of humbles. I probably should get some more of these because I had links to 2 of these and 2 more were mentioned. So I guess we'll start with the RPG ones because there's 2 of them. There is a BattleTech, and remember with humble you can see how much is going to the various sources, what it's going to for a charity.
I like to say, always remember to adjust those donation amounts.
Yep.
Because you can do a custom amount.
Mm-hmm.
I will say for the BattleTech one, it is entirely worth it just for the BattleTech universe book.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because that's the whole timeline.
Yeah.
In book form.
It's for Gamers Outreach.
Well, I did buy it, so
which is pretty good name for the charities too. So, yeah. That's a pretty good price for a lot of books, as usual. Over on Humble, you get all 20 items for 18 at minimum, and you go above that. And it gives just a bunch of BattleTech stuff, and it's BattleTech RPG stuff. Keep in mind. So if you want to,
it's the 2 RPGs. I've played both. Do prefer a Time of War personally.
Okay.
The recognition guides are just like, ooh, look at this cool mech.
It's the thing of I haven't touched a BattleTech RPG since
and the manuals are not a lot of this stuff doesn't super mesh together, but just for the RPG books in BattleTech universe, you're good. It's a good deal in here.
Yeah, my last toe dip was late 90s, early 2000s. So it's this is an entirely different beast at this point in time. Mechanically, it might be the same.
I'm slowly considering buying BattleTech miniatures because they're not super expensive.
Yeah. So BattleTech's one of them. We also have from
I mean, so this could let you play BattleTech as
yes,
well.
So... some of these are how you would here's your mech rules are in some of these. So
cool.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to.
So if you wanted to get into
like
BattleTech, you could get into it. And it's not a super expensive game to get into. So
yeah.
It's hard to find.
Try wargaming at some point. So
yeah, the real issue is finding people who play it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that makes it a little bit more.
It's a little bit niche.
Yeah.
Me, a person with no real life friends. I don't know. You think that'll be a problem?
Nah, find plenty.
So. Yeah. So continuing on though, for some more book-related ones, we have the Chaosian one. With its link here. I opened up again, and you're very long. God damn it! I'm gonna try to get it less long again. The power of very long, get things. I linked from their page. And it's long.
Yeah, because it includes the
Yeah, it's got the tracking stuff and whatever.
Yeah, World Wildlife Fund for their charity. Again, it's another $18 for all 14. It's the basic role playing stuff. Which, as I think we've talked about, how it's been more recently that they've come up with a lot of enemies and creatures and stuff like that, having a lot more options on it. So this is the point in time that if you really are interested in getting into basic role playing, it's probably the best time to try it out, as it has the basics it needs to be its basics, and some setting stuff, a few things with the Age of Vikings and stuff like that, and Rivers of London. So it gives you a couple of options for a couple of worlds they have, plus all the basics if you just want to use it as a basic setting. So that is up there too, also for the 18. What was the one you mentioned, Worm?
I am on it, so I could post this. So it's Dungeons and Dragons Classic Collection.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of classic Dungeons and Dragons video games.
Oh, these are the really old ones.
No, they're the gold box ones.
I've played a couple of these.
I haven't played.
I don't believe I've ever finished one of them because these are insanely hard games, and also I was a child when I played them, so very stupid.
Oh, I do not plan to buy this collection, but yeah, it's interesting.
It's cool for those game preservation.
Yep, I agree. It's cool that it's on Steam and stuff.
Yeah. I think I have most of these on my wish list in collections and stuff, because I was it might be content to one day play some of these. It wouldn't be great, but I might do it. I've looked into it. Yeah. the Forgotten Realms Archives collections. Yeah, that's what a bunch of these are. Do I have one of these?
I just
No.
thought that was cool. That it was just a bunch of old D&D
Yeah,
games.
they're
Pretty neat.
some of them are better than others. I've heard of good things from things like Pool of Radiance as a classic one. I think Temple of Elemental Evil wasn't too bad, but there's a coupon.
Those are the two I've played. I think I've also played the Ravenloft one.
There's a couple more in here though that I've heard about. So I mean, if you want to check them out, again, it's a collection, and $12 gets you the entire thing.
It's not bad for a bunch of old games.
I'm not gonna lie, I might actually do that one because I can get a bunch of these done ahead of time and not have to worry about looking for them to be on sale.
More importantly, old games that have been presumably updated to work on a modern computer.
Yes, which is good. Because
Or at the very least, they run a virtual machine. I've seen some that just run a virtual machine of the old stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're interested,
Which can sometimes still break. I've had issues with that for certain.
Yeah.
not perfect. And you had another one you had mentioned too.
There was one more. It was a Dark Horse comic bundle. I realize it's technically comics now, but I can share it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's got like some things that are kind of related. Like it's got their Dragon Age Ominous and stuff like that. So
yeah, I just think it's kind of neat. But
yeah, there's
I
some
just
good.
saw it.
Yeah.
Just scrolling through here, there's some pretty good stuff in here.
And we've certainly talked about some RPG versions of some of these things too. So
Yeah, no, that's the thing is like there's definitely like some crossover. It's just I'm like, oh, Dark Horse, we talk about them, and that was basically the extent of my thought on it.
Yeah, no, I mean they do a lot of stuff that's
RPG related. Yeah.
RPG related in a lot of ways, so that's not a bad one to mention. So,
But I didn't actually look through it to see if there's anything specifically RP. And
they do have Cyberpunk.
Actually,
there's a Cyberpunk stuff in here.
there's
Tragically,
also Dragon Age, which is
I
kind of.
regret to inform people the Halo Omnibus Volume 1, because there's Dark Horse Comics, you will not get to read about the very important Battle of Cleveland, Ohio, because that is a Marvel comic.
Damn. The critical battle of Cleveland, Ohio. Damn.
Cleveland, Ohio canonically still exists in the 2500s.
Yeah. That's all the humbles. Go ahead and check them out if you're interested in all of them. I gotta be honest, I might actually get the classic collection. Does Cleveland still rock?
No, it gets glassed.
Sorry, Cleveland. R.I.P. Cleveland.
I'm glad I could help you find the old D&D games.
Again, like I had at least
You
one of
can
these
make-
collection on my.
You can make a couple videos out of that.
I know. That's why I was like, I could actually like do some stuff with these.
I might get this comic one because I love comic books.
Because I was looking at my Steam wish list, and I had at least the Demon Stone and the Archives Collection 2 on my list. And those two together are normally $20, and this I could get for $12 with all the rest of the shit here too. So it's a really good deal, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've tried getting into those old computer games, and I just can't.
They're
Like,
really rough.
It's one of those things.
And-
is me spending $12 for possible content online is a good reason to do it, rather than me.
Well,
But
no,
I
like
grew-
that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
not to do with like that kind. It's not to do with like the content itself. It has to do with just oftentimes, just for me, the controls.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
grew up playing super old RPGs, so they're usually not a problem for me. But if you try to play one of those old games nowadays, you're gonna have a
See,
pretty rough time
Yeah.
with
I wasn't
controls.
allowed to play computer video games until I
Mhm.
was like in high school.
Mhm.
And so like I only played console, which had pretty solid controls.
Yeah.
Schemes, and then like so by the time I got to a point where I could play some of those older games, the control schemes were just so bad. Like they've been so set in stone for so long that these just kind of really are just bad.
It's one of those things. Is like I certainly like. I'm not going to argue against modern control streams in so many ways because they are so much better. But it's also like one of those things is like I could still work with those old control streams.
No,
and
I
many
know,
games
and that's
they
the
were
thing.
made decent. Well, mixed bag of whether they were actually made decently for that. There's plenty
A
of
lot
games
of them
out there.
weren't.
No.
I mean,
We only
yeah,
we only
like,
remember the good ones.
Like, I could get used to alternate control schemes and older stuff like that. It's just, there's very little reason for me to, is the issue.
Yeah.
It's the thing of like, because of things like fixed angles, there's arguments for stuff like tank controls in a lot of survival horror games because it works very well with
Gosh, I
those
hate
types
tank
of...
controls.
Yes, but it does work with the type of style that it puts out there. Depending
you
on
wanna-
Resident Evil is like the only game I tolerate.
Do you want a fun Resident Evil fact?
Hmm.
If for the N64 version of Resident Evil 2, it had an option for analog controls, not tank controls. So it had like normal modern movement in it.
Yeah. It also had a randomizer, didn't it?
It is literally, yeah. It had it's in my opinion, it's the best version of RE2.
Yeah. People love Resident Evil randomizers, you know? I'm always entertained.
The randomizer's not very good, but it has one.
Yeah. It's very bare bones, but it's there. You know, it's better than nothing. It's not like we have nowadays for a lot of them, but still, it's an impressive thing. Let's continue onward, and we're getting a new Star Trek Second Edition campaign guide.
Nice.
Focusing on the 24th century. So they're continuing with their like time frame books, it seems like. This is the next gen DS9 Voyager era.
I would be interested in playing specifically this era.
It's an era I like, because I like this era pre-weird shit they did with Picard. That's like right after there. I think that's one of the better storyline time periods for telling it. Because I'm not gonna lie, like it's a lot of the stuff nowadays. They made choices for like storyline stuff too. Again, on top of everything they did for like the various problems they did with things, and some are like I think are fine narrative things, but it's sort of like others are like, why did you make this choice?
Yeah.
You know.
Is Lower Deck set in this era?
Yes.
Yes.
This would be the Lower Decks era. And they do a pretty good job in the era. So I think
One of the best Star Trek shows, unironically.
yeah, it really is. I still have to watch last season. That's one I haven't. caught up on.
My favorite episode is the Moopsie episode. It drinks bones.
It was good. Oh god, it's so. I'm not gonna lie. It was something that I saw that we'll talk about a little bit, but there's a Moopsie magic card because of course.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. we'll talk.
Perfect.
We'll talk about it. But I saw it and I'm like, yep, Moopsie. I don't know if it actually drinks bones.
That's perfect. I mean, it should.
It should drink bones, but
That's what it does. It's the most deadly creature in the universe.
oh, it's just it's a death touch that gains reach. Okay, cool. It's a 1/1 death touch for 1 green mana that you can spend. I guess drinks bones. It kills anything it touches. You know.
Yeah.
Drinks your bones. Anyway, we'll have to get to that. That's a so yeah, 24.
You should watch Lower Deck. Yeah, that's very good.
I finished that last season, definitely. But yeah, 24th century. If you want to check out the book for it, it is coming out now. I think it is late August for the digital edition. Print's going to be out in November. I guess if you do the pre-order for the print, you get this thing now. You'll have to wait till the PDF for a closer time when they officially release it. But if you want it now, if you buy if you pre-order the physical copy, you'll get the PDF now too, as they usually do with those kind of things. We got another superhero one. This is one of the teenage ones. I don't know if I talked about the first edition of this ever, but I remember hearing about the first edition. It's called Masks. I don't remember talking about it on the show. We might have at some point in time, but it's the second edition's coming out for it. So it's more, I guess, like Teen Titans code.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah. So it's going to be coming out soon. It's not. This is the thing about it. They've announced it. 2016. So I think God, this would have been like back with Joe was on the show talking about in the early days. I think we kind of may have been around then. So
Cool that it's getting another edition.
yeah,
I mean, I joined you for the first time in 2017, so
yeah. It's a style of superhero show that or superhero content, I should say, that is fairly popular. You get your Teen
Yeah.
Titans, your Justice, and stuff like that.
People like Teen Titans.
Yeah. So the teenage / young adult superhero adventures, it adds a little bit of that, like, I guess, life drama that you don't get normally for superhero kind of content. So that's kind of where the direction goes there too. So second issue of that coming soon. We also then have a new little bit of digital character builder going along with Mutants and Masterminds, the new edition, which they've been working on here. So they are coming out with a Mastermind Maker, which is a digital character creation creator tool that they're going to be using. So I assume it could probably, because of the way it's said, be used for both your characters and maybe for opponents too. I'm assuming, just because the Mastermind thing feels like it's
Probably.
more than just that. They're not saying for sure though, but at least it's a character builder that you can get digitally that you can work on, and those are always good to have because it does help with character building. So a good addition to come out with the new edition of Masterminds. All right, bring us over to some TCGs and minis. We do have some information on the newest Lorcana set that's going to be coming out, at least the one coming out in October. Typeria City. Seems based on some more, I guess it's going a little bit more like Pixar-y related things and stuff like that, because that's I cannot remember the name of the movie, but I know I've seen that character before.
it's the Day of the Dead one. I forget what it's called.
I just don't pay enough attention to
Coco, which is
Coco.
is the best Pixar movie.
Yes. So, Coco related characters and stuff like that coming out there too. So that's one to check out if you're interested in it. We also have updates on some stuff coming out around Riftbound. Riftbound has actually gotten some good popularity. The Riot.
That's
one.
good. That's the League of Legends one, yeah.
Yes, League of Legends, TCG.
I think it's called. I think it's just called League now. I think they dropped the of Legends part.
Whatever.
Well, it's been about 20. Fuck it. Last time I played, I think was maybe 2017.
Never played.
I mean, it's kind of been called League. It was kind of unofficially called League for the longest time, so I'm not surprised they changed it just to keep it shortened.
Yeah.
Not a good game.
No, it's a fine game with probably one of the most toxic player bases you can ever have.
It's a good time if you want to get angry.
Well,
to be fair, the thing that bothered me is even playing, I never even got to the point where I could do ranked. You have to get to level 30 or whatever. It's very stupid. But it's the amount you have to learn just to even get past the beginning.
You have to do
is just
a lot of bot games.
Yeah.
So
it's you have to know what all the items do and how to upgrade them, and it's.
There's two sets they've announced for next year: Legacy and Reckoning. Legacy is basically their crossover with League of Legends Classic, which just came out. It was one of those things that I saw. I was like, "What? Why are people playing League of Legends?" Oh, they came out with a Classic version. People are playing it. That was why. So that's going to be coming out in January, and the other one is based on what they call their larger champions. I don't know if that's size or physical size or whatever. I don't know characters.
I assume they're big.
Yeah. And they're also I don't know if that's the 8th set, but they say their 8th set's going to be going to Bandle City. Again, I don't know enough about their setting.
Yeah,
but,
okay. Yeah,
Bandle
Aurelian
City.
Soul. Yeah, so basically, Aurelian Soul is a dragon.
So the actual bigger characters.
Yeah, so it's physically bigger. Cho'Gath, Shyvana. Oh gosh, Vayne, I think is a muscly guy who buffs up himself, if I recall. I can put it this way: I had friends who were really into League, who kept wanting to get me into it, and so I've tried it a bunch, so I know a chunk. Zillion, I don't remember who that is. Cho'Gath, Shyvana, I should know. That name rings a bell, but Cho'Gath might be after my time, and Zillion might be as well.
Cho'Gath's a big bug guy.
I only watched can't even the first season of Arcane. I never even watched the second season then. I'm very
No,
bad with
you-
finishing up seasons just to keep
You
the
apparently.
show.
You know,
I
I
know.
maybe I get into Riftbound because they are adding Ash, which is the character I played when I played over a decade ago.
I don't know. Vayne is just a girl with a giant grappling hook, right?
She's got a big grapply hooky thing, yeah.
No, no. They say larger champions. Maybe she's a giant of some kind, like physically.
Honestly, couldn't tell you. I have not played League in so long.
I haven't either.
But Vandal City, what's that? I'll ask that question. Quick proof.
Lore stuff that doesn't matter.
Cool, great. So
It's not like a map or anything. It's just a lore place where a lot of stuff happens.
good for lore people, probably not for anybody else. Gotcha. Cool. So that's coming.
Honestly, like the game got a lot more lore heavy at some point after I stopped playing.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that started happening.
To be fair, it started happening when I knew about it. Like they started to do like these little videos that like showcase like little bits and pieces of things, and it's like before at that point it was just like these like kind of set piece things. They didn't connect together, but they started to like give the characters backgrounds. Basically, is what it was.
Because
Through like little animations.
Yeah, it's like a whole setting now. It's called like Runeterra.
Yeah.
I think they were gonna make an MMO / that's maybe still happening.
Honestly, I could see that like if this game was anything but a MOBA, it might be worth like jumping into, but yeah, no.
Yeah. Until it gets MOBA games.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's coming up to Riftbound. We're getting lots and lots of welcome decks for Magic. K-pop song.
The K-pop songs for League
no,
are good.
Let me put it this way: their songs are banger. I have some of them in my Spotify playlists.
I've heard a few of them, so I can understand that. You know,
like that's like I want to say like the people who work at Riot are like super cool. At least they were back when I knew about them.
Pretty big fan of the League of Legends metal band Pentakill. They make a lot of really good songs.
Yeah, I mean they even got Imagine Dragons to make a song. Like no, like they care a lot about their media. They care a lot about their game. It's just a terrible game with the most toxic player base ever.
Yeah, it's just not a fun game.
But yeah, so we're getting apparently welcome decks for both Hobbit and Star Trek. Star Trek's the one that we have Moopsy in. It's in the green deck because, of course, it is.
Sure.
You know, it does have the quote that mentions, you know, if you hover over it, the bone drinking, which is great.
It drinks bones.
Drinks bones. I don't know if we need so many welcome decks, because welcome decks are supposed to be, you go to something and they're technically supposed to be free things to introduce you to it. But I guess the ones for the Universes Beyond, I get in a way that they're doing it, why they're doing it.
It costs them very little to make these, and it's like, hey, maybe it gets someone into the expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Right.
The only thing I can say is these look better than the welcome decks from before, and I'm kind of jealous about that because I don't see the Hobbit list. They have rares and mythics in the Star Trek ones, technically.
Fair enough.
Because Benjamin Sisko's, I think, mythic, and I'm like,
my guy Sisko
in the green deck, and I'm like, you should just be commons and uncommons in these things. They were terrible. These look like half good, not great, but better than they used to be for the welcome decks. I went to an event where I think it was like
what color is Sisko?
Green. He's in the green deck because I'm over there
green.
with Lucy.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if that makes sense.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna quote what I think the professor telling in college said. He loved the concept and the stuff they showed off from the Doctor Who commander decks. They really were there. They weren't like really like Doctor Who-y. They were like Magic cards that had it. So it's like he kind of liked it, but also didn't like it. I'm the same with this one as I look at it, because I look at these and I'm like, I like the references. I don't think mechanically, I don't know if they fit really, because I don't feel like you translate Magic to Star Trek very well. So I think that's
Yeah.
Moopsy works because Moopsy just death touch short.
I mean, he's just a guy.
He's just a guy that drinks some bones, you know. But like Cisco having the top card of your library revealed and playing land and creature cards, it just what? You know, I don't know. Again, I like the references. I just don't mechanically they match with it. You know, that's something I feel like they better in Final Fantasy much more. So that's all I have to say from the previews here. You know, so far.
Okay, so death touch instantly kills. So that means if you break through the creature's defense, it just kills it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If
you attack and then I block with a Moopsy, your creature dies.
Yeah. And since you can spend mana to give it reach, you can block things with flying even too.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the Moopsy's gonna die too, but it's the ultimate
pretty
trade.
good chump. Yeah.
Yeah. For 1 mana, just something I could trade for anything is pretty good. And you know.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the point is to kill their super dragon creature.
Yep.
The only time death touch is potentially bad is if the creature you're blocking has trample, because then you only block the power level you have, and the rest smacks you in the face.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. I don't care about the Star Trek cards. I'm not a big enough Star Trek fan to care. They don't look mechanically that interesting.
Yeah, I think mechanically, it's really just loses it for me.
I'm gonna be honest. Where I tend to evaluate these things is the art, and I think the art direction is kind of trash for these.
They're a little bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say bad. They're boring.
Yeah, they're like very. Some of them are kind of nice art, but a lot of them feel like just so nothing. You know.
You know
like
what
even
I would.
The Moopsy card just looked like.
Yeah,
like, okay, cool. It's just a blob flying at a guy who's like smiling unaware. It's like, why did you do that? Like, I feel like showing off the cuteness of the creature would have been much better.
The problem with the Moopsy card is it doesn't look like Moopsy.
No, it doesn't. That's because it's like supposed to be like mid-attack, in which it gets kind of weird. But yeah, no, and it's just like I don't know why. Like all of these are just the art direction is just so weird.
Here's the thing I can say. There aren't all bad, but what it feels like is like cheap versions of the art I would see in like Star Trek Adventures. Like Star Trek Adventures has a certain style to it, and this is like, you know, simpler versions of that art. You know, the characters are simpler. You know, the scenes aren't bad. The references I think are interesting. You know, because we're getting a lot of like, oh, cool, that's a reference. I kind of know that one, or you know, I've heard of things like that. But like, just because it's got the references doesn't make it
good. Oh no, they included the tar monster.
It reminds me of why I didn't really like the Spider-Man set. Besides the fact that it was Spider-Man, and I guess Marvel to an extent is the art just was kind of like whatever.
because they have to make the characters again.
They have to make them look like the existing character.
It's the thing of discussing like the top down, bottom down design. This has to be a top down because you're using the world, and top down design isn't necessarily bad, but it does limit you in certain ways that you're doing stuff. You know,
I feel like with Final Fantasy they had the advantage of a lot of these characters are 2D sprites. And I feel like they were given a lot of freedom because they really had the super classic drawings to go off of for like Terra and stuff. So I feel like they were given a lot more freedom to design the characters a little more.
You know what also it is? Star Trek Adventures. Like I compare that to the art in there. It's all original characters, and very rarely is it actual characters from any of the shows they show off. Or like, you know, like things like the book that we talked about earlier has like the heads on the cover, but they're like, you know, stylized and stuff like that too, and they're made to be put in a way that's, you know, very ethereal and kind of stuff like that. You know, they're not like character images of these people capturing real life people. And that's the thing. The difference is it's just a little bit of uncanniness to the way they're capturing the real life people and stuff like that, or the characters sort of physically in the show.
They're real guys.
Yeah, where a lot of the art there is depicting other scenes or stuff that's maybe a little outside what they show in shows. You know, like that's a thing that they try to do a little bit. Like, you know, sometimes it's stuff that could be there, other times it's like, you know, they try for something a little different. And this is trying to capture specific moments rather than I'm creating a scene.
Yeah. It really does feel like a lot of them are like just trying to recreate moments from the shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Like some of them.
I think Avatar kind of had that problem a little bit too.
Yeah.
I actually really think though that like part of me would have almost just liked it to be like using creatures from using like the species in the universe to like make the concept that looks right, you know, like you know, like I get when you want to do like LaForge, you know, you need to make it look like LaForge or Spock or whatever, but like, you know, let's go with like Refute. It's you know, like it's just two who is that? It's McCoy. That's the one. McCoy and Spock arguing, and I'm like, you could have just done any kind of two things arguing, and I think it would have been cool if it was just set in the world. Like I feel like they tried way too hard to like include the characters wherever they could.
Yeah, and like I don't know, it's a weird spot.
Also, some of the colors, to me, some of the colors don't make sense for these characters.
Yeah, the color design
like
is
why
weird
is
as well.
why is LaForge blue?
I'm going to assume
that what you mean
artifact related.
I guess it just feels like
because blue is always artifact related.
Wrote the mechanics texts before we put them to the character.
Honestly speaking, they unfortunately might be a problem. They basically didn't do a full top-down design. They did a sort of bottom. They made cards and then assigned them rather. So it was kind of in the middle. And I think that's why they're feeling a little weird when I'm looking at some of these things. You know, like I think honestly for LaForge, what I would have had him do, regenerate an artifact rather than spend blue mana. He fixes stuff.
Oh, also these are only a fraction of the cards, obviously, because these are just the welcome deck. So
they might have different versions of them too, in the cool thing.
There might be different art.
True. The welcome decks might cheapen down a little bit. We'll have to see. I guess in the full set. So it's to be determined on that one, but again, it's not giving me good feelings about it too. You know, like I think the Avatar had the advantage of being, you know, animated. So even if it was a little off, it's already coming from that situation rather than capturing like real life people and stuff like that. And I think that's a disadvantage Star Trek has. Like The Hobbit, they can make their own art style too. I think that's an advantage. The Hobbit, you know, that's so hard to fuck up on that one for Universe Beyond, if anything. That's like one of like
I've already done it once, basically.
I'm good. Like one of the things I like most about Lower Decks is that because it's animated, they can include a lot more of the weirder creatures that are harder to like show in the live action stuff. Yeah. And there was definitely a chance to do that here, and they didn't go that direction. And that's just kind of, it's like, it feels very much like they're just pandering to like next gen, and it's almost entirely like next generation and original series. Like
those are the two people like the most, so that makes sense to this for welcome decks at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they have T'Pol. I do like T'Pol. T'Pol's like a good character from the Enterprise series.
That's another thing that I think why, even though it's not necessarily the best, I thought that the Star Trek animated series was really great because it showed off a lot of some other species that were not completely humanoid in the, you know, Star Trek universes, like and added a little bit more flair to it, which it makes sense. You know, it's instead of oops all humanoid.
Yeah, I mean, the original series, it was like literally on a, you know, a lunch, you know, your
shoestring
lunch budget.
Yeah.
So like those made sense that they were all like just human with weird thing glued to forehead.
Yeah.
But yeah. Next Generation did do a good job with some odder ones, but most of them, anything that had any significant screen time was human.
Yeah.
It's a guy with a thing glued to his head most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. So, welcome decks, you know, if you want to go to either conventions or local game stores, then they have events that are kind of introducing you to it, and you can check them out.
I guess the cool thing about this is I can give Captain America a bat lift to beat you with now.
Look, if he had a chance, he'd take that bat lift and use it. Damn it!
He'll throw it at you because that's all his card does.
Throw stuff at you.
Throws artifacts.
Yeah, it's the sad thing that it's
broken as hell.
There's so much of Universes Beyond which I'm just like, that sucks, but there's occasionally things that are there that I'm like, yeah, that captures the character and that's actually neat and has a neat mechanic and it feels like a very time that's magic-y, and I'm like, it's just it makes it feel worse when they're not all bad, and I think that's the thing that I hate about it a lot.
Look, I mean, it's just full Fortnite. Let me just give me a Peter Griffin Magic card. Why not? Give me Peter Griffin and Magic the Gathering.
Yep. Well, side note on this, because I wasn't going to mention it, the at least they're doing small areas of print to demand for Secret Layers now. Some of them.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it's there's a 24-hour window that it's print to demand, and then the rest are just good fucking chance after that, but still. You got a chance that you might be able to get some of these things. At least the Hatsune Miku Commander deck and a couple things there, which is fine.
Yeah, Hatsune Miku, the creator of Magic the Gathering.
Exactly. So we're getting Friday the 13th and the Hellbreak. So the horror TCG is getting Friday the 13th now. Another one interesting to add in there.
That's fun.
Yeah. We've talked about a bunch of the other ones that they've added in. Another interesting one that they're throwing in there. So cool.
Sick.
As the one that's meant to be the horror crossover TCG, is getting more stuff. It's sort of if it's built around that, we're okay with that. Damn it. Anyway, we should talk about Gen Con a little bit here.
I want to mention this because people need to know.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, Halo Flashpoint is a miniatures game that exists. It's not super expensive, and spoilers, it's about Halo. The Halo Infinite stuff got some updates. There's new rules coming out in September, and the Zeta Halo stuff is coming soon.
Neat.
So you can play as the Banished, aka the Covenant, but red.
Yep.
That is one thing. I'd love to get into Halo lore.
It's very fun. I can recommend some good channels for it.
There's definitely some very good ones. The big one that I still remember because the recent one that I've seen, because again, it's one of those things is I did put my toe into a lot of different sci-fi franchises, even ones that I was less interested in back in the day. So it's I wasn't going to play Halo, but it was interesting to hear about some of their basic lore. The Acceptable Loss one for the universe setting was pretty good, I thought.
The Flood episode, yeah.
I think that was pretty good.
I would recommend the channel Installation 00. He does a lot of really good stuff, and then Pancreas No Work also has a couple of really good Halo videos.
I haven't watched his Halo videos, but
He did a Master Chief one recently, and you can learn all about Master Chief being a child soldier.
Yeah. So, Gen Con. It's basically secured itself very much so as being the second largest tabletop convention in the world, because nothing is going to goddamn beat Spiel Essen at this point in time. When we heard about it and they were like, well, we were gigantic, but we needed more space, so we're going to have to expand. And I think I remember someone, I don't think it was here, but I remember someone else was talking about it, and they were like, how are you going to expand your space? You take up the entire area now, part of the town and stuff like that.
Spiel Essen is the board game convention.
Yeah. But Gen Con's basically a good second place here. It looks like they have a 200,000 turnstile style and 74,000 attendees with 800 exhibitors. Not the best exhibitors, but a lot more attendees. And apparently this was not a huge jump from last year, but still a couple thousand more is still a jump. There's just more secures there.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah. So, yeah. Still big event. unfortunately.
Okay, the in the picture there's like a game called Parachute Panda, but like I had to like when I first looked at it, I thought that was a Snorlax.
It kind
That
of
does look a little like a
it
Snorlax.
does a little look like Snorlax.
Also, just shout out to BattleTech over there. Cut
Battletech's
off
right over
slightly.
there. Cool Stuff Inc. I haven't bought look. I have
Catalyst in the back over there.
Alice in the back. Cool Stuff Inc. I haven't bought from stuff online in like decades at this point in time, but I have, or at least a decade, maybe two. But I have bought stuff from them while at a convention. So because sometimes they've had the cheapest
one
magic.
of my best and happiest memories is going to Gen Con like pre-COVID and getting to meet Mike Pondsmith, the Cyberpunk creator. He's a really cool dude. He's very chill.
Yeah.
And every time he speaks, it's great. He's just so cool.
Yeah. I definitely don't think I had a chance to have a conversation with. Might have been him, but he's definitely a couple of those people that are very important to Cyberpunk have been at PAX Unplugged. So I've run into them and had small conversations, with a couple of those people, that are like
they're all really cool people.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Talsium. Is that the correct name? Am I thinking the correct name?
It's our Talsium.
Yeah. Good company, but yeah. So, big attendance thing there. Cool. Breaking records for themselves, establishing them. But also important to note is, hey, we got our Ennies rewards. I think this is the one, because it's the Gen Con award show, it's the one that we can easily talk about. I think there's some other tabletop ones, but this is the one that we've mentioned before. We got the information for who won what, basically for a lot of different things. It looks like Daggerheart's core set got the gold on best game.
Makes sense.
Yep, followed by Legend of the Mist core book in second place there. They also got the best rules. The Exalted Funeral Press for their Dolmen campaign book got the best setting.
Draconis got a spotlight winner.
Yeah.
I reviewed that a while ago.
I will say I'm not surprised that best layout and design went to Cubicle 7 because their rule books are laid out immaculately.
Yeah. I've only seen a couple of their books, but they're very impressive for the way that they do a lot of those things.
They are so easy to read.
It makes me more interested in trying some of their Warhammer books because I'm like,
I think you would really vibe with fantasy.
Yeah, it's an odd thing. It's like I hear some things about fantasy, and it seems kind of interesting, but it's kind of like that thing of like I'm not as big on dark fantasy. Like I like dark sci-fi, but not as big on dark fantasy.
You might like Age of Sigmar more because it's more of a heroic setting.
Okay, so it's like Age of Sigmar.
Because you got big hero guys running around doing stuff in Sigmar.
Like I feel like that's the thing with fantasy for me. I like my fantasy a lot more heroic and stuff like that. But like my sci-fi, that's the one where like it's a lot of apocalyptic stuff and like dystopian stuff. That's why I'm used to that being a little darker and stuff like that. So dark fantasies, I'm not against them necessarily. They're just not my favorite, but Daggerheart and got the silver actually for product of the year. It looks like Crooked Moon, from Adventurous, got their product of the year award.
Does not surprise me. I've heard really good things about Crooked Moon.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay because Daggerheart got best game.
I know.
Gold for best game.
I'm glad Daggerheart is winning awards because it deserves it. It's very, very cool.
It is a good game. Yeah. No, it's very well done. Very well made.
Yeah.
And then I do like Monsters of Drakenheim.
Another good one.
Yeah, they got gold for best monsters.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Anything else that stands?
Anything else stands out?
Yeah.
I mean,
best rules was also gold for Daggerheart.
Yeah, fan award for best publisher going to Adventures does not surprise me considering the Kickstarter they just had.
Mm-hmm. They've had some pretty big stuff for
Ryoko's Guide got silver for best setting.
Ooh, good on them. Ryoko's Guide's a very interesting one. I've heard a little bit about it, so good on them. Cool.
Now, it was one I really kind of wanted to back, but I'm like, I'll just wait for it to come out, and maybe I want to get a lot of those kind of things. But then I just don't play D&D that much. I don't run D&D, and D&D is such a pain to run too.
it's again like it's fine.
I
But
buy all
there
these
is
books so I can steal from them for my setting.
that's actually the thing for me is like, but I do like to buy things like them to actually then steal for other things. Like
I also
might-
just like supporting small publishers.
Yeah.
same.
Yep. So.
Yeah,
if you want to check out the Annie winners, put the link there from EN World. They put the full thing there, but I'm sure you can also go to their site too.
I should run Wrath and Glory again. It's been a while.
Cool. So, we got more Diamond update. Of course we did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yay.
It's kind of good news this time, kind of.
Yes, there might be a settlement with the consignor vendors that's been proposed. Whether or not it finishes up or not, that's to be determined at this point in time. But this is the bankruptcy trustee, so this isn't with Sparkle Pop. This is with because Sparkle Pop has some stuff too, and that's its own problem. But this is with what remains with what remained with Diamond that was a contribute. Because again, hey, they basically split up the consignment stuff between two places just to make it even more of a problem for everybody. Thanks, Diamond. But yes, effectively they're looking for some kind of settlement with this entire thing, which would be good. They might not get their full value, but they'll still get something out of it, which would probably be good out of everything.
I mean, it provides like almost 900,000.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that's to all the group, like the entire group, so no one's gonna get even anywhere close
Yeah.
to that. And so, oh wait, hold on. Company taking the biggest hits from the portion dynamite, which is owed 400,000 from escrow, 473 thousand from escrow accounts, and Paizo, which is owed 228,000.
Yeah.
But that 228,000 is so they're getting that much, which is, if you remember, they lost 2 million from all of this basically.
Yeah.
Well, they lost more, but 2 million is like they were negative 2 million because of this, despite So like that's such a pittance. It's like less than 1% of like what they lost from all of this.
It's pretty bad, but
it does seem like
hopefully it's means this is going in a good direction. Hopefully,
it does. Yeah, it does feel like they're also trying to kind of mitigate something with Sparkle Pop on top of this, so that's good. Because it says here, the bankruptcy will drop all claims against the inventory owed by the vendors in the settlement, and the motion asks the court to specify that the vendors can pay Sparkle Pop to prepare the inventory for pickup at a competitive price, or pay third party to prepare the inventory. So I guess it's sort of like they can kind of pay at low price to get their inventory back, so they can at least maybe
would be nice.
They're not going to get full profit, but they could get something back from it. Basically, it's sort of like
something.
They can basically buy their inventory back, so Sparkle Pop gets some money, but then they get their inventory back and can sell it theoretically to get at least some price back. That won't so that they it won't be perfect, but it'll be better than nothing, which is kind of what it's saying.
But I still like, if I remember correctly, like they something I saw or in one of their updates, they said something like, even if they got it back, they might be able to get like, $500,000 for it all.
Yeah, it still blows, but
yeah,
better than losing it all, I guess.
And Sparkle Pop still can create problems because they're not involved with this. That's a separate thing entirely.
Yeah, and they still have some inventory as well, which is a whole different thing. So.
Yeah,
it's a big mess.
But yeah, it's a step in the right direction at least. There might be some mitigation to the problems at very least.
Hopefully.
Anyway, the PSA is being sued.
Good.
I think we talked about some other grading stuff going on and having problems with like suing and stuff like that before, but we now know that the PSA and its parent companies are being sued by
RICO violations. It's never RICO. That's cool.
Yeah, I've said this many times. PSA and card grading as well as a scam.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is RICO shows up as long as it's a lot of different violations, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It is a big word to say, but in this case, if you look at it like
it's pretty bad when this one gets involved.
Yeah, if you hear it,
It stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations.
yeah,
It was originally made to fight organized crime.
yes,
Yes.
Because it's the idea that like basically the people organizing the crime are just as culpable as the like people who are doing the crimes.
yes. And again, we're just gonna say here, just because it has the RICO violations doesn't necessarily mean anything here. It still has to go into court and start being tried on it and all that kind of stuff, and has to go through things. There's a process to it there too, but it is a much more hefty thing to put in there, basically too. You know, it is something that you don't want to necessarily say it unless you mean it, kind of thing like that. Because if not,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
a
good for your
heavy
side.
one to
throw out there.
leverage.
I'm looking at you, that entire case with the Legos out there where the company threw Riku at, was it Ben?
Yeah.
It doesn't look good for them. It didn't look good for them because of what they were doing, but they were doing it in a not a good way. But again, it's like one of those things is, if you use it, be smart about it. Don't be those people because it's not good for them. Be smart about it. But anyway, yeah. So we'll see how this goes with everything, and it's been a mess with PSA stuff like that. So maybe it'll be something, and it'll
hope
lead to something.
they get slapped really hard because this company is one of the reasons why TCG market is in a really bad place right now.
Yeah,
They'll slip $1 million to the Trump fund and get out.
Probably. Let's realistically, yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen.
Poop, let us bribe.
Love
I'm just gonna say that.
blatant
I'm just gonna say that. We'll move on. Poop, let us bribe. Anyway, So
I love blatant corruption.
yes. So Felicia Day has also now is going to be working with Will Wheaton for a stretch goal that is going to be basically a tabletop show they're going to also now do as part of the guild things there. I remember back in the day there was the tabletop show with Will Wheaton that he had. I saw some episodes.
Yeah.
No.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
It's on Geek and Sundry.
Yeah, Geek and Sundry.
Yep. It's
Channel that no longer exists, I think.
I think so. I think
it's called.
I don't know if I know he had his big board game thing.
Yes, the show doesn't exist anymore. The channel still exists, but it also was technically sold off.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, because here's me. I rarely unsubscribe to anything, and I still see
It's
occasionally
literally just called
uploads from them.
Tabletop. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like it was Tabletop something. No, it was just Tabletop.
Yeah. So basically, they're at like 4.4 million. I think 4.6. They'll start doing some episodes for it. So this is actually probably a pretty interesting thing to do with stretch goal money. They're like, well, we've gotten a lot. We can just do another show. That's something that we've done before. Kind of. If you're interested in it, keep supporting.
Yeah.
So cool. Again, that feels like a very good direction for throwing something out there for stretch goals. It's use money. So I think we've talked about that a lot.
You know what? I went to his Wikipedia to see what he's been in besides Star Trek, and I forgot Star Trek Online did an event where they had a mirror universe where the Terran Emperor was Wesley Crusher. The worst Star Trek character.
Look, I'm not gonna lie.
Wesley Crusher was good until they just didn't know what to do with him later on.
I didn't like Wesley Crusher.
Wesley Crusher was a weird stand-in for God, my brain is breaking today. Gene Roddenberry in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But he was also supposed to be he was basically a weird nepo baby. So it's like there were very interesting stories with him, but they're established
character.
Yeah, his establishment of his character was very Mary Sue in the first season. And so
Will Wheaton seems like a pretty cool guy. So
I didn't see it as that big of a deal. I didn't see it as that bad. The real issue was then he went off to Starfleet, and then he started to have trouble in Starfleet for no reason, and then he got weird superpowers.
Well, that was an entirely different thing. He basically covered up someone's accidental death.
I know, and funny enough, I actually think that one overall wasn't terrible. episode. I'm more talking about it's just like they didn't know how to end his storyline, and it just
Him
ended
going
so
off
badly.
with the Traveler was one of the what I just because I watch a podcast that goes over some episodes, and they just went over that one pretty recently, and it was very interesting the way that they discussed it, because it was like, okay, so basically they added in bad Native Americans because of
That was also just really weird.
well, there was a guy going around that time period who consulted on Voyager, who was being developed at the time, who was a
Said he
fake
was-
Native American.
Yeah, said he was Native American, wasn't.
And there's a very good chance he may have been talking to the writer's room, even though he wasn't there, because he was.
Probably.
Because again, Voyager's being developed right at the same time, basically in the same office area. There's a chance that's there. So Native Americans, the Traveler has always been a weird guy, and it's just also like everything that goes on with we've been here for 20 years, we can't move, and then leading into everything with the Maquis and the Cardassians. It's bad storytelling in a lot of ways in that time period.
Anyway,
But yeah.
I did like the
It
kid
is.
who's like a genius who can see into like the fabric of the universe. The idea itself was kind of neat. It's like they just ended it in like, and superpowers. It's like, oh gosh, that's so stupid. That's such a cop out.
I think it's also like it's a problem it's very exemplified with Wesley as a character. Is there's a lot of times in Star Trek where things go really bad and someone should at least be talked to about the problem, and they don't. And Wesley did some pretty bad things in the first season if you actually think about what he did, like war crime level of bad things, and you're
Who
like,
in
Trying.
find me a named Star Trek character that hasn't committed horrible
Yeah,
they
crimes.
haven't. They all have. God, they're very bad. They're very bad, especially Next Generation. Next Generation is especially bad.
They did a lot of bad stuff in Next Gen.
At least Cisco acknowledges his war crimes.
He can live with it, Tantus.
He can live with it. It's
He
a
can
good
live with
episode because he can live with
He can
it,
live with it.
and he acknowledges it. He at least acknowledges his goddamn war crimes.
Computer, delete that entire log.
I can live with it. They acknowledge it in the narrative instead of in the Next Gen.
That is one of the best episodes of Star Trek, though.
Yes, it really is. So anyway, yeah, I do like Wesley in a lot of ways, but again, I think there's some bad writing with him as a character.
I mean, there's just Star Trek. There's bad writing everywhere.
Yeah, what was it? It's like you either have a really great episode, a really bad episode, or a really bad episode with an amazing B plot. Is kind of what.
What's the episode where the B plot is people getting stuck inside the ship, but the A plot is getting Data to have sex?
God damn it! You're not wrong. That is definitely a plot. Sometimes you just look at the A plot and you're why is this the A plot?
Surely the people getting stuck in the walls of the ship is a bigger problem right now.
No. That's less important than the Data second plot. Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
You should watch Deep Space Nine instead. It's better. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the better show than TNG. I'm sorry, and I hate to say it, but
I
it's
feel-
more consistently good.
I think that's the thing. I think Next Gen's good episodes are better than a lot, except for a few. Better than, I guess overall average. Their top end episodes are higher than Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
But Deep Space Nine is consistently better.
You
After the
should-
first season.
You should watch. You should watch Deep Space Nine, and then you should watch the better show Babylon 5.
I like Babylon 5. I do not like how Babylon 5 ended.
That's fair.
The kind of last season into the movies was just, I don't know what they were thinking. I think there was supposed to be a plot line there, or a storyline there, but it just for the
It was budget.
I think it was budget and the way they were doing it. The movie version of stuff was just not a good way of telling it. But a lot of good episodes of Babylon 5. I liked a lot of the seasons there.
It's very slowly being uploaded to YouTube for free now.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of interesting
Wait, what's being uploaded to YouTube for free?
Babylon 5, a famously very hard to find TV show from the 90s.
It is. It's a sci-fi series, and its CG is not good. You say that to
kind of like, in a weird way, it's Deep Space Nine's like twin sibling. Also, several ideas may have been stolen from a pitch of Babylon 5 for Deep Space Nine. However, there's no concrete proof of that.
Yeah.
But they are incredibly similar, and it's a little suspicious.
Yeah. It's a very interesting thing because it's very Stellaris.
It is, yes.
Yeah, I think it's the best way to, because again, like there's plot lines with old empires that like are very powerful. So like fallen empires that exist. There's like plot lines with a lot of species that are kind of more warlike and have been things like that. It's the idea of like Babylon 5 it's the last great hope. It's this station that's meant to be a neutral ground where diplomatic relations between all the major intelligent species in the galaxy can get together, and they can work their things out without horrific wars. After basically we had the Roman Empire equivalent conquering the reptile people for a while until they got free, and also the weird bald-headed aliens basically nearly genociding humanity.
You got the shadows, which I remembered looking a lot better than the screenshot I saw a little while ago.
They are all CG, have not ended probably ended well, but they're introduced later on. They're another fallen empire they get introduced to other than the weird, I guess. Are they gas people? Or like weird, like there's two fallen empires that basically dick around with things, one of them that's like normally there, and another one shows up later on. It's interesting storylines. I would recommend it. Babylon 5 is good. They do have an RPG based on it, but that's basically out in the 2000s. Probably not good. It'd be interesting to play. Probably not good. Maybe you have to update that for modern mechanics. That's a thing that people might have to do. But there was a Babylon 5 RPG too. It was a time period, early 2000s. We did a lot of it. They did a lot of experimenting. It's why when we talk about like the Warcraft and the Star Wars for D&D, they did it before.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got a topic to talk about. Why don't we dive into that? So this is one that I wanted to talk about because honestly speaking, it's not bad. I think that's the entire thing. It's TTRPG Crossovers. It's not a terrible idea in any retrospect. I think we just want to talk about how it's done bad or good. I think that's the discussion here. And what you want out of a crossover,
I'm going to say...
What do you mean by crossover?
With World of Darkness book for like 5e, that.
The 5e World of Darkness book.
Got it.
The Star Wars book for D&D. The Warcraft book for D&D. Stuff like that.
I want to say my piece because... in the Acceptable Losses Discord, there is a World of Darkness chat, and those people are the most unhappy people I've ever seen talk to each other. Good lord.
I just can't get into groups like that. I'm sorry. Like
they're so unhappy.
It's like as a pretty big fan of World of Darkness, I like look at these people and I'm like, did someone hurt you guys? Like, you just have to say that.
Go outside, see the sun.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what's really funny? Is like, so I was in both Chronicles of Darkness and World of Darkness Discord at one point. The Chronicles of Darkness Discord server is so much healthier.
Chronicles people are fine. They're doing wonderful.
Yeah, those guys are great. I like those guys. Sorry, I'm mute myself for a second.
But by like. There was talk of the 5e book, and I said, hey, this is a good on-ramp for people who only play 5th edition D&D. And this is where my argument for why crossover books are good. People who play 5th edition D&D need an on-ramp into other things, because they're only going to play 5e unless shown something else. And these crossover books are a really good way of giving someone a gentle taste of... hey, it's a World of Darkness, but it's flavored the way you like it with 5e.
So I think the thing is this is different as a topic than I make like Dark Matter. Dark Matter is its own unique thing for D&D. That's where it's going to be. Yes, you could use the world and other mechanics, but that's where it was initially built for. This is other worlds, other franchises, other RPGs crossing over between themselves. That's like, I think good one that would be pretty crossoverable is like Cyberpunk and Shadowrun in a lot of ways, honestly. You know, those are very like similar. Basically, one's got magic, the other doesn't. And that's an easy way of kind of describing the difference between it. But they are worlds that, in many ways, could cross over because of that. I have seen some stuff back in the day.
I want to bring. Speaking of that, I want to bring this up because this is a book that exists that I had. Did you know there was a World of Darkness book called World of Future Darkness, which was a crossover between Cyberpunk 2020 and VTM?
No. Now I'm going to go looking around.
They added VTM to Cyberpunk 2020.
I got a bunch of like old.
It was bad. It was not good. But they did it because we just did stuff like that back then.
Yeah. I mean, I did know that, like, at one point, Traveler, they're actually doing a Traveler for 5e thing, and Traveler also did something for 3rd edition as well, 3.5. So, yeah. No, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's like, I don't have, like, a crazy opinion on it. I don't really care one way or the other. Do what you want.
Yeah, my opinion is and will always be it's a good thing, especially for tapping into the largest market right now, which is 5e players.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately for me, I just don't have a strong opinion.
Yeah,
either way.
I don't think crossovers are ever bad. I mean, there's bad crossovers, but I don't think the concept of a crossover is bad.
Yeah. You know, I think that's the big thing about it is I think that's a topic we want to talk about here is what we want from one of these crossovers, because they're never necessarily bad. It's just how well they're done and stuff like that. You know, it's sort of like for vampire, they're giving us a vampire as a class with the subclasses being the clans. That's a very interesting idea, and I'm going to say
that is how you'd have to do it, though.
yeah, but that's I feel like is a good crossover because that's a very interesting direction that feels like it could work, you know, as a direction for taking that crossover there.
An example of a bad crossover is the 3.5 Star Wars books. Those were really bad.
Yeah. And so now we have to look at what they're going to be doing for the 5.5 crossover books with Star Wars.
I'm gonna assume it'll be better, but probably still not that good.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm kind of
I
like.
just don't know.
I don't know how much freedom they're being allowed.
Especially because it does seem like around that we didn't talk about it, but it seems like Edge still has the entire thing, so this is a one-off.
Edge is in a weird place because all they're doing right now is reprints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's very much the point of like, I mean, it's just the thing that bothers me is just like, yes, okay, I get building things for 5e, but it's just like, man, 5e itself is such a broken system. I mean, they really ruined their opportunity to fix it. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of curious, like, what people would do.
I disagree because as someone who plays a lot of 5.5, 5.5 actually did fix a lot of 5e's problems.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, did it fix higher levels?
Mostly, yeah. Higher levels a little better balanced now. You still have the issue of the reversed issue of Pathfinder, where instead of everything's a glass cannon, everything's just a little too tanky, including players. But that's just 5e's base design philosophy. Pathfinder's 1e at least is the design philosophy. You will probably go down in 2 to 3 hits.
Yeah. I got into kind of a binge of like old videos about like like backlog of videos that I never watched when like 5.5 was being released and people talking about it, and it was just a lot of people were disappointed with how much the same it was.
Because it's not a new edition. I think a lot of people went into 5.5 thinking it was going to be a whole new edition. It's literally just hey, here's some rules updates so it's more clear. And also a little bit better balanced because several classes that were borderline unplayable due to how bad they were are now very playable and very good.
Yeah.
It's there have been some like, you know, improvements, but just not like it's not huge things. I think that's the thing is like as we've said now, it's not really a new edition. It's an update.
It's still 5e, and if you don't like 5e, you're probably still gonna have a lot of the same problems with it.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I don't know, like,
unfortunately, crossovers are going to have to do 5e because 5e is where the marketplace is.
Most of them
Yep.
probably will be nowadays. It doesn't mean that we can't get other ones. I mean, like, they did Vampire Hunter D and Pathfinder, which
They
is
did,
just
and that class is garbage.
I don't know why they did like Vampire Hunter D.
All of those mechanics are bad and should not be played
So
with.
like, if you don't know Vampire Hunter D, I'm just gonna go on a little tangent here. Anime from the 90s, you know, probably me as a younger person in the 90s should not have watched it, but it was on late night on the Sci-Fi Channel, you know, mostly censored, you know, but not completely, because hey, it was still a semi-premium early days of Sci-Fi
Yeah.
Channel,
Mhm.
you know. It's basically like future Dampier fighting, you know, vampires. And it's based on, I think, was it a novel series or an actual manga series?
It's a novel series. The novel series is actually pretty good.
Yeah. So like it has its thing, and they've done a bunch of stuff with it here and there over the years. So it's not like a bad franchise. It's just a weird franchise
It's
for Pathfinder crossover with.
Yeah, I also want to point out, because you did remind me of its existence, it is really funny looking at like the cover of Hellsing and the cover of Vampire Hunter D and being like, okay, so you just copied Hellsing, you just copied Vampire Hunter D and changed the colors of your main character.
Ah,
They look very similar.
yeah, you know, look, different stories, but yes, very very similar.
I would say Hellsing is better, personally. Well,
yeah.
manga is.
Manga,
The
yeah,
original anime for Hellsing is quite bad.
yes, it is.
Kind of curious what would happen if Pathfinder did some crossovers. Like I know they Pathfinder 2e, because I know like you're talking about the Vampire D for one. That was for 1e though, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
one.
the 1E.
It was at the back end
Yeah.
of 1E that they did that too.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, that would be kind of cool to have like things like that. The problem is I honestly feel like companies wouldn't want to touch Pathfinder Second Edition because of the Orc license.
Potentially.
Yeah,
They have done a few crossovers, but it's mostly been Pathfinder or Paizo going to other people or other people going to Paizo and be like, hey, we want to put some of your stuff in our thing.
Yes, I have seen that kind of stuff. Like, for example, Pathfinder Munchkin.
Yeah.
I know Wrath of the Righteous had a like Children of Morta crossover, but that's a video game, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
I think the thing is like, when you break it down, yes, all kinds of TTRPG crossovers, you can take them or leave them as they want. They're using either established worlds or like basis of establishing worlds and moving them in. So it's sort of like, I think that's the problem a lot of times is like big games can establish their world very easily. A lot of these crossover can have one book to establish it, you know.
Yeah, I actually think this is why D&D, like specifically 5e, works so good for crossovers. Is 5e doesn't really have a single setting like Pathfinder does.
That is an advantage that they have a couple settings and stuff like that.
Pathfinder is also hard to build for, or homebrew for.
Yeah.
2e, I mean, 1e.
1e has
hard, but
1E's very
it's pretty easy because it's just D&D kind of.
I'm sorry, the amount of like third-party shit for Pathfinder
There's
1E
so
/
much.
3.5
is
was a
bad.
billion constant. There was a
there's
lot of
plenty
bad
of-
stuff.
There's plenty of third-party stuff for Pathfinder 2e. It's just, you know, because ancestries and classes require so many feats,
Yeah,
it's hard to like build for.
We don't get it as much as we would have back in the day, you know, and it's not as easy to pick up and just do. It's interesting to think that like the idea definitely with D&D and its multiple worlds does help it because it already like it doesn't link it where a lot of TTRPGs do link to a specific world or they're so generic the crossover doesn't matter, you know.
Because D&D sure is mostly Faerun, but also here's 20 other settings. We can add more to the pile.
Yeah. I think settings are the one thing that like make it that aren't terrible to do. I think it's just that you have to make sure to include enough with your
That's
crossover
the hard
episodes.
part, is making sure you have enough content for a full crossover like it. Because I mean, World of Darkness has so much stuff that they 100% go for it. You've got so much.
Yeah.
And honestly, if your book gets like one person to look at World of Darkness, be like, "Hey, that's cool. You've done it. You've won." Because no one's looking at World of Darkness right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
And it's basically like, World of Darkness is, hey, it's medieval Europe, enjoy, with magic or something
Yeah.
like that, with a little bit of magic and stuff, because they're just doing
People,
Dark
people are
Ages.
not clamoring to play World of Darkness, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As sad as it is, my beloved Hunter will not have new players anytime soon.
And I think it's certainly speaking, like, even with mechanics and worlds that are very set, I think certain styles allow for crossovers a little easier. Like, fantasy connects with fantasy very easily, I think, a lot of times,
Yeah.
But, like,
Oh,
sci-fi can be difficult to connect with sci-fi.
Sci-fi, because sci-fi is so different between any work.
Yeah. Like, there are definitely some that fit a lot better with others. Very, very cyberpunk as the genre rather than the game fits a lot well with each other. It's a genre, and there's plenty of cyberpunk related games that you could probably, or worlds that you could cross over pretty well. But, like, yeah. But there's definitely a lot of, like, can't really cross over Star Wars and Star Trek, So if I'm taking the Star Trek, adventures, can I cross over anything with that? I don't know,
No, because I think Star Trek is just so specifically Star Trek.
Yeah. Where, like, certainly speaking, we've already seen, like, for Lord of the Rings, we have both our original system version of it and the D&D version of it, with one
It's
ring.
so
and
weird
stuff,
because even Paizo has a 5e crossover.
Yeah.
There are like 2 adventures that got printed for 5e.
Well, I think for crossovers also, easy systems make it easy too. Easier systems.
And Pathfinder, at least to a degree, is very similar.
Yeah.
In
also,
tone, at least.
I was trying to see if Paizo did any IP crossovers. Most of them
Maybe.
are using Paizo's world in another media rather than the reverse.
Yeah.
But that did lead me, and I found apparently Pathfinder and Vampirella are doing a crossover and releasing a comic in October 2026. Is when
That's
it's going to
fun.
be released. Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of crossovers do you want to see? What would you go to Mr. Wizard of the Coast or Mr. Paizo and are like, hey, pitch a crossover. What would you want?
For like a fantasy crossover? Ooh.
Like any kind of crossover.
Any kind of crossover. If I could
That
crossover
could work in like D&D or Pathfinder.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I think, personally, I would love to see stuff of, but I don't know if you could do it in any of these systems, is as soon as I saw we have Kaiju in Pathfinder, I love some more Godzilla related kind of stuff like that, figuring stuff like that. I'm a big Godzilla fan from back in the day, so I would like stuff around that, or like something with that, because we have the TTRPG now, but I'm not gonna lie, I like the concept of TTRPG in a lot of the ways they're doing it, but it is very unique in a lot of the mechanics, and I'm like, these are cool mechanics. I might try that game out. I don't know if it'd be a staple in my kind of repertoire for that, with their mechanics and all like that. I haven't played around with them enough to know that, hey, actually playing it might be really fun. I don't know yet, but just looking under the surface, just the look there, it's, that's the kind of thing.
There's 2 crossovers I would love for D&D, and we're so close to it happening with this Warcraft book. Give me a Diablo D&D book.
Ooh, okay.
And then also give me an Elder Scrolls one.
That one, both of those would be very interesting.
Those Elder Scrolls could work for either Pathfinder or D&D.
Yeah, I could see this as very good.
Very well.
I would love Pathfinder to do crossover, like setting crossovers, like just with IPs. Like, yeah, Elder Scrolls would be a good one for Pathfinder or D&D. I think that would be a really cool one.
You know what I would love? Bessem to have actual anime crossovers. They're not going to spend the
Oh
money to
yeah,
do it.
so it's just not generic.
They're not going to
Yeah.
spend the money to do it. They're just like, do it yourself. They did it back in the day. There was a couple of very unique, crossover ones. I remember them, but you're not going to get it anymore, as
No.
the anime style game.
SM is not putting out the cash for that.
No, not today.
Nor do I think they have the cash for that.
No. They've had a moniker success. They're okay where they're at.
Nor do I think they have the eyeballs to make that a success if they did it.
Well, that's what
Or
I mean.
the audience, really.
That's what
Audience.
I mean.
That's what I meant by it. I was like, I couldn't think of a word for
audience.
like.
As I said,
Audience,
they've had
yeah.
okay success, not enough to really go very far. That kind of thing of like, well, it's been okay successful, not great successful. Kind of like, not quite World of Darkness, like maybe a step or two below World of Darkness, but not like, not a failure was what I could say. Like World of Darkness does okay. And it's
one of the most niche. I do not know a single person who's played Bessem besides like you, Tantus.
I haven't actually used the new system though either. I bought the new system because I was going to play. I played it back in the old edition,
Because you were like, I remember you wanted to do a Bessem like one shot, and I looked at these rules and I was like, this sucks.
It's
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I did a couple of Bessem one shots in the general, but I didn't. I think third edition had some extra things that were taking a little bit of time, and it's not. It's like one of those things. It's like kind of like what I say with World of Darkness. The basic system is easy. The veneer is a little complex, and I don't think the same thing for Bessem because it has to be generic for any anime, and that's the way they have to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think we're getting back to that weird age where everyone is like, I made a TTRPG book for my video game.
Yes, we've cycled back to the early 2000s where I made the joke about the Babylon 5 one. It's the same thing. It's the same time.
Experience that crash in like 10 years.
Yeah, well, that crash was caused by, honestly, Wizards, because they switched to 4th
Well, who do you think's going to cause it again?
God damn it, you're right. Oh my god. They've tried to do another 4th edition, and it didn't work. Like, not physically the actual mechanics of 4th edition, which, we've talked about that as just, but
that's Pathfinder.
the licensing things that they had, when they made
they tried to
burn it all down again.
Yeah, no, like I actually saw an in-depth review. Like people talked about 4E and how, like, I like how you've always said, oh, if it's too wargamey, and if they had a VTT, it would have worked. But honestly, when I've actually looked into this, like from other people's perspective and like really dug into it more, it really was the licensing that killed 4E.
It really did.
No one could make third-party content for it.
Well, yeah, mechanically wise, I don't think that killed it.
I think 4E was actually pretty good. Would I play it? Probably not.
I always think about maybe like one day if I grab some people for it, I would come back and like do a revisit of it and try it out with a VTT, at least for one adventure. That's my thought about maybe doing it at some point in time. But yeah, no, I don't think I'd have like a full campaign on it. I'd probably just pick up one of the books, and be like, hey, does people want to do like the first book of one of these series and call it a day? Because it's
to be fair, it is like. I like the idea of the tactical to the extreme, but yeah, to do a full campaign, you'd need a full onboarding of people who are willing to basically play, a video game.
Yeah. It's not, you can't,
because it is. Because that's the thing. Like, Pathfinder took a lot from 4E, like Pathfinder 2E. I even learned that 2 people who worked on 4th edition actually worked on Pathfinder 2E. It is very, and you can see a lot of it in terms of its design structure.
Yeah.
But at least that one, it doesn't feel like a video game when you play it.
Yes.
It actually feels like an RPG.
I think it's they learn some lessons from it, and it's the thing of like it's when I take a 4E book, they have like, well, if I take a Pathfinder adventure or a D&D adventure and then a 5E adventure and a 4E adventure, the Pathfinder adventure, yes, I have a lot of battle things, but also it provides me a lot of information that's very good for role-playing information and for like world-building information on there. 5e, probably not as good at Pathfinder, but also Pathfinder is maybe a little too much at times. So it's just like
a little bit.
There'd be this nice middle ground between the two of them. 4e, it's got like a page of some establishing stuff that might be kind of role-playing related, and we're like, well, you can use one of these ideas. Good luck on it. And then it's like, here's the tactics for everything else. So it is dry.
They did add it in. Yeah, they added it in. They added social stuff in future books because they really screwed up by not putting it in their
like
core,
the
though.
early adventures especially are just dry when it comes to actual like social role playing, world building kind of stuff like there. It's just there. And I think that was also an issue because it's like it's so reliant on you know the person running it in that way.
Yeah, and I think the reason, like I'm thinking about it, I think the reason I'm so meh about crossovers in general is because I'd much rather just D&D and stuff focus on their own worlds. Like D&D has so many like playing in a Spelljammer campaign right now. It's like D&D has so many cool worlds, and they just ignore them all for Faerun, which is probably the dumbest one. And even then, that has a lot of neat parts to it, but they ignore all of that for the Sword Coast.
It's also a thing too, like Spelljammer, because they butchered it so much. The more I learn about what they did with it, I just like shake. I didn't realize until someone was talking about it with the new Dark Sun stuff, how they literally created like a black hole in the corner of the Spelljammer multiverse that was supposed to represent the destruction of Dark Sun, and they're like, "Oops, we've retconned that now, so we can do Dark Sun stuff." It's basically they
blew up.
They blew up Dark Sun. Now they anti-blew it up, and I'm like, what?
Spelljammer was a mistake for 5e.
The idea.
The WotC of that time was not ready for something that weird.
Yeah, like there are certain concepts that don't work, and like I don't. There are certain ideas that I don't think aren't bad, but like they basically made their entire. Again, they made their entire different thing with some ideas that are similar to it, without doing the same thing. Like, I don't think I mind vessels, like spelljamming vessels, traveling through the Ethereal Sea. But the Ethereal Sea was not the Flogason and wasn't traveling between multiverses and stuff like that. It was a different kind of entire thing entirely. And it switched out way everything worked in many ways. You know, the mechanics worked differently then. So it's a mess. Yay, there's no words for it. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think the thing is, when you're looking for, if you want to get into a crossover of something, let's say when we look at the Star Wars thing, you want it to feel like what it's supposed to be. You want the mechanics to match or to be adapted in a way that feel like it matches enough. And, you know, then it's just, you want a book that gives you at least the basics of the world.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need everything, but like for the Star Wars, like again, the Vampire one looks like a pretty good mechanical crossover. That's the thing. Is like you've won in a lot of ways already. You mechanically spelled that out very well. You know, that's a win.
Hey, you know, if that Star Wars book is good, I'm gonna tell you right now what I'm gonna do to it. I'm making it a Mass Effect book. I'm changing a bunch of names because I would Mass Effect TTRPG, and I'm not getting it.
No, unfortunately, there's just certain ones that it's just we're not getting.
You know what, WotC, do a Mass Effect book. The EA is probably going to sell Bio, where you could probably get it for cheap.
Yeah,
want to be a video game company anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what EA is going to go with their new deal. That's a direction that I'm just like, whatever. Something's happening there. Is it going to be good? Probably not, but we won't know until it finishes happening, unfortunately.
Oh, you know what? If the Star Wars book is good, I'll just let anyone play like a Wookiee in any D&D game I run, because I just think that'd be kind of funny.
Look at like, I think that's the other thing too, is I think we've been talking about this too, and I think there's the level of use what you want, you know, for crossovers. Right. You can figure out ways to adapt things, you know, to various places. You don't have to use the exact same settings and stuff like that. There's definitely a lot of directions that way you can just do, which are fun.
I don't use Spelljammer, but I have a blanket. Yeah, you can play any of the Spelljammer races because they're mostly mechanically pretty good.
Yeah.
Just they messed up the lore of a lot of them.
Yes.
Bafflingly.
I know. It's sort of like, it's like, you read the original lore and like, this isn't problematic. Why did you change it and make it problematic? What's wrong with you? Yeah, that's Spelljammer's the worst.
You know,
the crossovers or the
speaking of Faerun, my brain just remembered this. Did you know there are dinosaur people on Faerun?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's like this whole thing where it's like there are dinosaur people that ended up coming here from like some other planet or whatever because of something, and I'm just like, man, sorry. Every time I like think about like just how like little WotC uses even their own IPs is just baffling
Yes.
to me.
Well, the dinosaur people are in 5th edition. Yeah, they were
Are
reprinted
they?
recently. Yeah,
Oh, recently. Okay.
because they remember when they redid Tomb of Annihilation. They're in there,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because it was some.
so they do exist.
Yeah, I forgot they were in. I knew they were Chult, but I didn't know how much they explored it.
Yeah,
But
the
Tomb of
problem is
Annihilation did.
WotC doesn't want to do stuff like Cholt or
Yeah.
Asia, but fantasy because they
Oh,
don't
cool.
want to be offensive. And quite frankly, maybe they shouldn't because those places were pretty offensive.
Yeah, it's they don't have the dedication, nor will they be
They
willing to
probably
grab
do
the cue.
now, but I think they don't want the potential bad PR, especially after Spelljammer.
Yes, because like, you know, they're not going to take the again. We take a look at the Paizo, and I took TNZ World Guide. They did a really good job.
So good, it's great.
Yeah, they've established things that are very much so based on our versions of so many like Asian countries, but their own thing still. So it has that flavor of it, and is very respectful for those places, and kind of displays something very interesting ways. They did a really good job with it, and WotC probably is not going to do that if they try something, even if they've got some people that want
it sucks, but it just it's just sad.
Again, this is like why I just don't know what they're gonna do with Dark Sun.
Judging by the trailer, I think Dark Sun will be okay.
I think they're gonna focus on more like the violent side of things, which is
I think they'll probably play down a lot of the like. Probably not, because I mean slavery is prevalent in Faerun, so they're not going to play that down. But I do think they'll play down a lot of the more unsavory aspects, but you will still have your hyper-violent slavery stuff.
Yeah.
Just, you might not have some of the eugenics stuff.
It's, as I said, it's probably going to just basically be the 4E version of Dark Sun.
Yeah, probably. It's just going to be a little bit toned down. I think it'll be fun.
So that's what 4E was. It was a little toned down from what it was. If it's on that level, I think it's fine. I don't know. But we'll see.
I'm more curious about how they're going to do survival stuff, because 5e doesn't really have survival mechanics that well.
Yeah.
That's my curiosity.
Here's the thing, too, though. I'm not going to lie.
I also would just ignore survival mechanics because I think those suck.
I think Dark Sun's never had good survival mechanics.
No, tabletop is not very good at simulating survival.
Yeah, and it's the one that it needed it, and it's never.
Especially
done
a lot of modern tabletops like Pathfinder and D&D, where it's like, well, I cast a spell, we don't gotta eat for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the big problem is like for stuff like that to work, you actually need to restrict player options. And that's the thing. Like those things, to be fair, it was better in older editions where like you had to prepare like far ahead of time, and there were other things which could cause problems with that kind of stuff, and you actually needed to have like actual berries to like use them on, like freshly picked berries and stuff. It's like, yeah, they definitely made that more of an issue, but
yeah, it's the unfortunate thing that like I'm like thinking about, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just trying to remember like Dark Sun, and it was just like, yeah, you should worry about survival. I'm like, even remember second edition, they were just basically like, yeah, we'll just worry about survival. Like, god damn it, they've never really put together good mechanics for it.
No, I just don't think survival is super fun in D&D setting most of the time.
I guess that's probably why, like, at least in the D&D time period, they just didn't bother with it. They're like, if you want to bother with it, it's there, but and it is a problem, but maybe just don't. Like they just, if establish the basics, and unless they're doing something crazy, don't worry about it. I think that's the thing. Is if players make a crazy choice, then worry about it.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's their problem, and they'll probably die for it.
Yep. anyway, back to kind of the topic at hand. I think it's just we have that kind of establishment, and you just kind of keep it in mind, and that's it. That's
Yep.
it. Just if you know that the most important thing about a crossover is going to be honestly mechanics. After that, it's if you want to use it
Yeah.
something cool. If you want to do a specific game based on it, cool, up to you. Yeah, and just check the mechanics and make sure they're good. If you're going to use
Crossover is also just way easier than making your own tabletop RPG.
yes,
Yes.
um, and honestly speaking, like
And if you want people to see it, D&D is the best way to go.
Unfortunately,
yeah, especially if you're using if you're using a system and want to do your own crossover, cool, good for you. Just remember that you figure out a way to do the mechanics or do something that doesn't need mechanics, and you're good to go. Cool, excellent. That's a thumbs up on that. I think we've talked about stuff like that before. I'm just reiterating that because
it's a recurring convo.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like the idea of buying the Warhammer book from D&D is interesting to me, just to learn about the Warhammer lore.
Warcraft lore, you mean?
Warcraft.
Yeah.
What I said Warhammer. Yeah, Warcraft.
I mean, I would love a Warhammer book. I just don't think that one would happen. Just because they've already got
they
three
already got their own
RPGs
RPG
that are popular.
Yeah, they've got 3 RPGs that are pretty good. So I don't think they even.
I will probably get to the Warhammer book, or I also did it, the Warcraft book.
Yeah.
Because I am curious how they're handling magic in the classes.
Yeah. Again, it's a old crossover that we're bringing back, so it's gonna be interesting how they adapt it.
Can play the one WoW character I made, a Death Knight. That's the only thing I've ever played in WoW.
I made one of the wolf people way back.
I don't remember what species. I don't remember what race I played.
You get to level up to level 20 free or whatever, and a friend was just like, "Let's do this," and I'm like, "Sure," and we did that. They now have Dracothers, which almost made me want to get into it. I ended up not though.
Fair. I played a lot of Warcraft for a long time, and then I stopped, and now I just play a lot of Final Fantasy.
Look,
which I would also like a Final Fantasy crossover, because the Final Fantasy TTRPG is kind of bad.
That's a good reason for one. And so, like, in the future, if we see some more D&D crossovers or stuff like that, or we see more crossovers, it's not going to be a problem. Don't worry about that. It's not the same problem as with other games or stuff like, Universes Beyond, where it's had its own issues. This is one of those ones where it's, it's something that's always kind of been done, and don't worry about it, and you can use as much or little as you want.
It's also way more of an investment, so for a company to do something like this.
Yes. And also, like, it's certainly speaking, like, it's just more options that are optional. So keep in mind. Cool. Let's talk about our week.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you do anything on Sunday, Momo? Last Sunday?
No, our game was canceled due to travel and a lot of people being busy.
Worm, we had your adventures where we we kind of determined a lot more stuff. Here's the thing. We did end up going to like the spirit place, but we did a lot more before we went there that I think was a good establishment of stuff, that I didn't think we were going to do.
Like you guys actually did finally start to discover things. I mean, before this was just setting the stage kind of, and now you guys actually are starting to learn things.
Yeah.
So you guys got some hints that led you to some other things which you actually started to learn. So something's going on. Yeah. So basically, you learned that the wizard Argistot, she had a familiar that's still around, and you found out that some kind of energy is flowing out of their connection, the familiar connection, in like an overflow of energy. So wherever Argistot is, you've learned that she's in a place that has a lot of magical power.
Look, I was going. Like, my assumption had been for the longest time, Argistot wandered into something and activated it, so sort of like, it's just was it intentional or accidental was the only thing that my character was to determine. But I'm like, confirms my thoughts about it, good old Argistot, dicking with something they shouldn't have. Sigh.
Mm-hmm.
Classic wizard stuff.
Yeah, and you did learn that something's going on with the land spirit, the
Yeah.
water spirit nearby.
Yeah.
You learn that it's protecting people, even though the merchant thinks it's killing the people.
Well, the merchant's an asshole, and I don't like him too much.
He
so.
he is. I mean, the whole thing about him is he realized whatever's going on is he actually has kind of figured out that whatever's going on has to do with like mind stuff. And that's where he's like, well, I'm safe. If everyone dies, maybe it'll go away.
He does have a magic ring that protects him from anything. So he's
Yeah.
like, not my fault, not my thing to worry about. Don't worry about
Fair.
it.
And yeah, so yeah, he's an asshole, but he's also like, if someone fixes it, fine. And he did try to warn you based on his theory. His theory is wrong, though. You guys quickly figured that out.
Yeah.
Through a little bit of trial and error.
Yeah.
Or
And we fought a bunch of creatures then.
yeah, there's a bunch of swamp creatures that have taken root near the spirit because, well, the spirit's energy is waned, so they can't. Well, this is kind of just the meta of it, is their energy's waned, so a lot of these like creatures that would normally be kept away are just chilling nearby.
Doing their thing. Not anybody to stop them. And eating people that are just kind of confused, and I feel bad for them. Wandering
Well,
off and just getting eaten.
They
'cause
probably deserved it.
well, maybe not, because they're getting mind messed with by, like,
Well, you failed your save, so
yeah, they failed their save and they're getting mind stuffed, and then
that's what you get for having a low wisdom. Or
what you get for being
whatever.
peasants.
I mean,
you get
to
for
be
being a
fair,
commoner.
this hasn't mattered because you guys haven't slept, but if you sleep in this area, I would have you make a save.
Gotcha.
I don't think you guys are going to sleep because this all should take place in one day, but
Yeah.
in theory.
We haven't had a reason to anyway. Even with the fight, we weren't like wasting a lot of resources and stuff like that.
No, like that's the thing. Like I mean, I gave you a pretty good recovery because like I realized I kind of made the first fight a little bit too hard, but not like super hard, but just a little bit, like for a first fight.
Yeah. So, and then Monday we had a return to your game, Momo.
We did have a return to my game. Do you remember what happened, Tantus?
So, yes, we basically took on a. Long story short of it, with the no fault of, I don't know what Lightning's character's doing. I understand Lightning's character. I don't think it's a bad thing for Lightning's character, but it's also like a kind of hard thing of like the difficulty of trying to negotiate.
I think it's a little funny.
It's a little funny, yes. Basically, we are a little contrary. And then we are, effectively, we negotiated with these people. We got that we're going to hang around there for a while at least, until whether we find a new place to live or not.
I'm not 100% sure why people were like, hey, we need to negotiate with these people, when the lady was literally like, yeah, you can stay here.
I don't know either.
I'm not sure why people.
Look,
I mean, I get not. You did wake up in a hospital, so I do get not trusting this
also,
person.
my character's an idiot, so like
she really was just like, oh yeah, you can stay here for a couple days.
But I think my character was like cool, and everybody else was talking about negotiation. I'm like,
no one else is like suspicious of her, which is fair.
Yeah, it's like
I guess
my character wasn't. My character was like, a nice house. We will stay here.
You got offered. You learned a little about the world.
Yep.
You learned that mages all have a horrible disease that will eventually kill them.
Yep.
Although there are medical treatments to make it not kill you.
Yep.
One character did refuse medical treatment, so I have the mechanics for this. I may have to use them to prove a point.
Good. I would not stop that because we as characters recommended it because we learned about it. We're like, maybe you should get this medical treatment. It's probably a good idea. We got these things
character
here.
is canonically an anti-vaxxer.
Apparently, it's going to cost them a little bit. Maybe we can still get them some
you were given a salvage job. You went and did it. Your wizard almost died because he ran into melee like an idiot.
Yeah.
And got munched on by a big spider.
Yeah.
and then you basically learned, hey, here's some world mechanics, and I threw out a lot of world terms that I am glad no one asked follow-ups on, because I have written down actual explanations for them now rather than improving it.
Yeah.
So that'll be much nicer in 2 weeks when I get to talk about those.
Yeah.
And then you met technically the third faction in this area, because you did briefly meet the other faction and promptly ignored them. Which is probably
Well,
good, because they're not good people, as you've learned. They are
yeah.
terrorists.
Yeah, when we met the third faction, it was just kind of like, I don't think we can mess with that.
Yeah, when you met the group called Blackwatch, you did later learn they're terrorists.
Again, like, it's that thing of, like, my character's an idiot, but I do have a 12 wisdom, so I'm, like, usually just wise enough to do that. Like, my brain just sometimes says, like, that's stupid. Okay, cool, brain, thank you.
Probably the easy assumption would be like, the guys in all black uniforms with face masks maybe aren't good people.
Them like, not talking about, like, violence against each other and stuff like that. Probably shouldn't mess around with these guys.
You did overhear one of them be like, shut up or the boss is gonna murder you.
I'm like, I don't think we should play around with these people. This seems like a bad idea. Just saying.
You met the third faction, which is a large community set up in in the university complex that you could technically go to. That's kind of the edge of the playable area right now. You'll be explained as to why in 2 weeks. You can't go further than that.
Cool.
It may or may not be, because the rest of that part of the city is covered in horrible magic radiation.
Well, when for whatever, we're like, why are we here? We don't know. We're on a planet that was.
It may or may not be keeping you in this area, so you can go to that nice hospital map pin that literally says it calls to you.
Yeah. Look, we found out, that something terrible happened here a very long time ago, and
you learned about a 500-year-long war.
Yeah, and then now this is the attempt to resettle the planet, basically.
Yeah,
and we're
the world's in rebuilding process.
Have we been here the entire time, or was someone just dump us here?
That weird.
And that's both. Neither are good. One is someone dumped us here. The other is we have been asleep for 500 years. My character is like, that's probably bad. Oh well.
Yeah, and then the session ended with you basically being like, hey, you did some work for us. We're gonna give you this equipment, and I'm gonna explain what that equipment does. Spoilers, it's gonna stop you from dying horribly to magic radiation.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I've been enjoying playing a kind of idiot. It's been fun,
It is nice playing a stupid person sometimes,
where
you don't have to worry about things.
Yeah, there's
unfortunately, in the other Monday game, I chose to play a stupid person in the most stubborn party imaginable.
Yeah.
We have that game in 2 days, so.
We fought some hags on Tuesday.
We did fight some I thought that fight was going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
Which it definitely would have been if they rolled better initiative, but they didn't, and they kind of got stomped.
Yeah. We basically put them in a position where they couldn't use their coven abilities, and like I feel like their plan for deceiving us was not good. I'm like, Brandon,
yeah.
we already have an idea that there's horrific hags here, and we want to work with the Strix, and the hags we already know are, from information previously we learned are bad, and they're like, go do something in there.
There is a world in which we didn't do the detect illusion save, and then those hags were disguised as children. Those children were going to be fireballed.
I considered blowing up the children. You guys stopped me from blowing up the children.
I didn't stop you.
You gotta stop blowing up children in games.
DM said, "Hey, maybe you wouldn't do this."
They technically children are not would be affected by the anti-evil effect because they might be neutral. They're not just all going to be good. And I'm like, that's technically true. So, you know, good fireball would probably nuke children. Fine.
They were they were hags, so you would have been justified.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stop.
I don't know. It's the problem of I love Pathfinder 1E a lot. I do also love that it is a game where you can just stomp. Like you
Yeah.
can just stomp encounters. It's so fun. It is a little boring when all of the enemies roll like 2 on their initiative and then they're done.
Yeah. It's one of those things that initiative can swing things so heavily sometimes.
But also, I did just have to put up with 7 sessions of the worst dungeon I've ever experienced, so I'll take it.
I'm really glad I didn't have to deal with that. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry you guys had to deal with it. I'm glad I didn't.
Sucked. I don't know if I ever told you, that dungeon was also on a timer. You had
That's really-
3 days to do that dungeon, or they were going to summon 3 pit fiends.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, God. Jeez. Yep.
Yeah, no, that dungeon was pretty bad. But we also learned that the hags had a bone golem made of children bones. That was fun, I guess.
Yeah.
We didn't fight it because it was like a CR6.
Yeah. But it's definitely like one of those things. Well, children bones.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna go fight water things because we all demanded Cell prep the water dungeon for some reason.
Well, apparently we have like 5 dungeons or something kind of to
We
do.
have, I think we have 3.
3. There was this, and then 3.
Well, we don't
other
know if they're
things.
dungeons. We just know they're 3 combat scenarios.
Yeah.
There are in one of the adventure paths, there are alternate rules for water combat where they like put a lot more thought into it. You might
We
wanna,
are
like,
at
look
the
into those.
level where water combat doesn't matter because we just have the spells to avoid
Like,
it at
I-
least.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I can just cast the 2 things that'll like.
Because you've got what, freedom of movement. Jay's got air bubble or whatever.
I have life bubble too.
And we have like a mega wand of water breathing.
Yeah. I give you guys life
Thankfully,
bubble, which is like.
Thankfully,
water
this time no
plus.
one's playing a gunslinger, so they can actually play their class underwater. Although
The-
Joe might have issues because he does have to throw things. You can't do that in the ocean.
You can, but the range is like 5 feet, so it's like.
But also, Joe can take a step back for a second because that man does like 60 damage per bomb.
I think I'm giving Cell an aneurysm though with my shenanigans.
You have made Cell crash out. Like every session you've been in this game, he has crashed out.
Look, I'm just doing cleric stuff. I know high level cleric stuff. He's like, I don't know. It's again. It's one of those things that like
We already banned Siphon Might, and then you came in with your Age People ability that does basically the same thing but worse.
I don't have to use it. I just wanted to use it.
I
once.
mean, it's also way easier to deal with that than Siphon Might.
It is just 4. I can do it multiple
Siphon Might
times.
is
But
like
a dice roll. every time.
Siphon Might did drain a dragon of 10 strength points and make him useless.
I think I can get it 3 times per day, so I can drain someone of 12 if I use 3 turns. But again, like every time it's just a -2. Yeah, it's very easy math every time too. At least right now, I think at higher levels.
We're definitely in the wind down of this game though, because I feel like the Asmodeus Temple was the big climax.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. You know,
It's pretty chill.
Yep.
I can't wait for us now to fight like an avatar of Mephistopheles or some nonsense.
I'm not surprised that no one else knew about Liberating Command. It was like I'm a spellcaster and I don't want to be grappled.
I knew
spell.
about it because my Inquisitor had it because it's on the Liberation domain list.
Yeah. It just
That Inquisitor was also played literally like 4 or 5 years ago, so
yeah. It's just one of those things that became a staple, I think, back in the day for like.
So at a +20 to Escape Artist?
Yes, at 10th level because of +20.
That's pretty good.
You still have to roll Escape Artist, but it's
I mean,
like you use it as a reaction, like if you're grappled. So it's just like, well, I can be not grappled.
Spell slot to not, hags of varying level, not a problem for my paladin. 1 cat, it took me out immediately.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like it technically can be done when anything is grappled. The reaction. It's just it's
That's pretty
like,
cool.
I can help someone else if they're grappled too.
Nice.
Yeah, but again, like
Neat.
it's like, do you have escape artist? Because like if you don't, it's
No, most people don't.
I know. It's one of those things that is like I forgot. Like I really should have.
I don't think I have ever rolled escape artist in my entire time of playing Pathfinder.
I have, because I'm not gonna lie, if I'm playing a rogue, especially when it's getting into melee, I'm gonna take escape artist, just because like grapple's gonna shut you down so heavily. And
That's fair. I usually play a wizard or a big beefy dude that me being grappled does not stop me from beating you
Yeah.
to death with a hammer.
or you're just gonna take like your CMD is going to be, or CMB is
It's gonna be
better.
like insane.
Yeah. So yeah. But in my game too, then some more
Did-
Pathfinder shenanigans.
Rip that guy.
Yeah, like here's the thing.
Way to go.
He's drunk, but like they're like there's enough goblins that they're like the adventurer assumes one of them will get there, because like as soon as you kill a certain amount of them, they realize who you are. You got below that level rapidly. You murdered
My
them very
legitimate
quickly.
question and I know I say this understanding this was literally written in 2007. Why have him there?
That's a good question. Are you expected to capture him at this point?
Is he? Are you?
You're expected technically to kill him at this point.
You're supposed to kill him.
Possibly capture him, but kill
Interesting.
him.
So that's interesting because I assumed he's supposed to escape, and that the AP is like, oh, if he gets captured, he just escapes the next day from prison. That was my assumption.
I'll
Same.
check again, but they don't actually have anything listed for him escaping.
Damn, a Pathfinder adventure where the villain just doesn't escape.
Yeah.
What a novel concept.
Like, it's very obvious Nanalia is in charge of this entire thing. He's just another one of the generals. And I'm not gonna lie, he's like also like a simp.
He's really horny.
He's really horny, and she doesn't.
Man,
she
shows villainy because he just down bad.
Yeah, and she just is using everyone that's working for her, because the amount of people that are horny for that lady are just like
on a level,
absorbent.
I understand writing it this way because lust is one of the sin magics.
Yeah.
However, it's a little weird.
Yeah, she's basically
It's a
like
little bit weird.
She's basically seduced everybody to working for her. It's not that she's not powerful.
It's not
but
it's not offensive. It's just like, why did you write this?
Yeah, it is a little. It's like I both understand it, but it is like a weird direction to take it. It's not like a bad direction, but a weird direction. You know,
I wasn't
it's kind of
expecting to have boobs in my Pathfinder game. It's happened twice in this game.
Yeah, the one time.
How much more will this happen, Tantus? We must know.
Oh, it's gonna happen a lot, I assume.
I'm not gonna
At least
lie.
one. It's gonna happen at least once more. I bet this lady's art is way too sexy.
No, her art is actually one of the least sexy of them currently.
That's shocking. What?
I know. I'm not going to lie. The closet's a lot sexier.
How do you make a closet sexy?
It's a female closet.
It's still a closet.
It's a closet. It's like, why do
Is
you
it
have
just like
such...
is it just like a gremlin, the lady gremlin from
Yes,
Gremlins 2?
yes, it is. It's the lady gremlin from Gremlins 2. That's the closet. It's like, why does the closet have such big tits? It's a closet.
Why?
It's tiny.
Paizo wouldn't be caught doing this in this day. and
Granted,
age.
the closet's dressed up nicely. You know, it's got an outfit on, but still, it's like, why is
He's
your...
got pants on? He's civilized.
Just to remind myself what a closet looked like, I looked up closet, and funny enough, one of the ones that pop up, I'm like, oh, that's probably it, isn't it?
Yes, it's the closet with tits. Yes, if you're looking at closet Pathfinder, you're
You might
probably
want
going
to
to...
censor.
It's got
No,
clothes on.
it's dress.
It's
It's
dress.
got clothes on.
If it's this picture, I have seen this picture before. Okay.
Yes, it's like, why did you make the closet?
I remember
for it?
seeing this picture and be like, why did you draw this?
It's like, it's you're not
Also,
even
it is
dealing.
on like the first row of Google results.
Right?
people be in the closets, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm just like it's not a bad picture. It's just like a why picture. I think
It's
that's what it
weird.
is. It's just a why. This
It's a
adventure has a
strange
lot of it.
decision. I
Yeah,
mean, it's the first adventure they ever wrote. Well, first full adventure they ever wrote.
yeah, it really is. Again, like it's an interesting story, but it's just like it's just certain things about it. I'm like,
There's a
whatever.
lot of it. It's just like it's a little weird. It's not like bad.
That's
There's nothing like disturbing or too raunchy about it. It's just like, huh? I thought better of you, Paizo.
it's another reason why I don't have to rewrite this. It's just we'll just go with it, you know. It's like
I mean, in a lot of the instances, it's funny. It's played for laughs.
yeah.
Like it is a little. I when you said his journal had lewd drawings on it, I was very deeply concerned of who the character was.
he just really down bad for a lady who kind of liked him but really was using him, it's
I did like his little bit in the journal of, well, succubuses are demons, aren't they?
he is just hoping for something that's probably not gonna happen. She's all for the let's become some horrific monstrosity, I'm okay with that, but
I mean, it all kind of tracks.
yeah. So, it'll be a thing. Yeah. So,
Hey, man.
but
It is what it is.
I got you some magic gear though.
We got some cool items.
Yeah.
We got plenty of wands.
Yep.
That Rip Amiko's father got
Yeah.
literally covered in glass.
I'm not gonna lie. There was like no magic stuff that shows up between here and when you're like in the next dungeon area where you're supposed to be 3/4.
Crazy.
Yes. So like there's his gear and a few other items that you're gonna find in the dungeon that you are now, and I'm like, there's like nothing for like
bereft of items.
I know. Where I'm
Carrion
like,
Crown has the same issue, so I have to add stuff.
yeah, I had to like look at the numbers of how much you're supposed to have for every level, and that's basically where I like gave a bunch of magic items. So it's sort of like I'm like, hey, Dad, he had some magic items. I gave a few extra for him, and then I just made a magical medical thing that like made sense for this place here.
Yeah, like a magic first aid. That makes sense.
So I basically did those three things, and I'm like, cool, great. He has a couple extra gear in a backpack, in his room, along with the journal, and things like that. So, and his dad had some gear. And so, I am planning for a few more little bits of extra gear things that'll happen too.
Yeah, that'll make sense.
But you should have enough because you'll be 3rd level after you finish this area here. So
how much of this book is left?
This area and then goblin stuff, which I'm not gonna lie, everything is optional except for going to Thistletop.
Is it the classic case of, well, you really need to be level 3 for most of this book, here's some kind of easy stuff to get you there? Is it kind of like that situation?
Like, Thistletop is, you start at level 3, well, you can technically gain 3 while in there, and they say 4 at the end. What I'm going to be doing is 3 arriving there, and at a certain point while you're there, you'll get 4.
Kind of what it recommends for Carrion Crown, roughly.
Yeah. So, like, while you're in the midst of it, you will gain 4, so it'll be up to you. By the time you have that midst of it, you have options of, like, securing an area, maybe resting your in-game secure abilities or not, and stuff like that.
It's not bad.
Also, the fact is, like, I'm not going to lie, I'm curious as to how your characters will go for certain things, because, like, there are technical peaceful options with portions of the goblins. Whether or not you will do that is completely up to you, or whether or not you find that.
I know what I feel like. I feel like there's no peace.
Yeah.
For some of the party.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially with Joe's character.
Yeah. I mean, understand that.
He keeps critting people who we have grappled.
It's funny every time.
I love it. I love the fact that the fact is he did 3. If he did 3 more damage, he would have killed the guy.
I am feeling, after the last section, I am feeling better because I actually did stuff.
Yeah.
with my rolls instead of sitting there for
Honestly-
2 hours rolling like a 1 or a 2 every time.
Honestly, same. Like the fact that I could only do something like every other round
Mhm.
up until level 2 was very obnoxious.
Yeah, level 1 is really bad.
Yeah. It's one of
Like,
those things. It's like
I
it's
can
good
actually-
for like skill rolls, but not combat or something like that. You know.
Yeah, so
Level
it's just
yeah.
ugh.
level 1 should really just be kind of like, here's some story and establishment. Roll some stuff. Hey, you
I
gained
don't know if
some experience by rolling stuff.
I'm tempted for Carrying On just to skip level 1 and start you at level 2.
I don't think that's a
'Cause
necessary.
I genuinely don't think it'll make a difference.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be terrible for us just to be at that level and just be like, it'll just be a
'Cause
little
I've
longer
read
before we get
the-
to.
I've read the book. There's not a lot of combat in level 1 anyways. You have, like,
No, it's
one required and then a bunch of potential random encounters.
yeah. As I said, like, you know that the majority of stuff's going down at Thistletop. Whether you want to do anything about any of the other goblin groups that are
I feel
there,
like
up to
I
you.
feel like we'd probably, most of us are, I think, good people. Well, good as in like kind, nice people,
Yeah.
not good aligned necessarily. We
Yeah.
have a moral conscience.
Yeah.
Is what I mean for the most part.
Yeah, so it's sort of
So I
like,
feel like we're gonna try to help.
yeah, because again, there's levels of different things. We'll figure it out, though. I guess is what
I'm
it
sure
is.
Joe will paste a couple more surrendered people against the wall.
Probably, but yeah. So
Just like stop attacking people when we've already
At least
got
use a
them.
sap.
Yeah, you should buy
yeah,
a sap.
Well, it's like the thing is, it's like he's not trying to kill them. He just keeps critting and doing 1 billion damage because it's a
I'm gonna-
×3 weapon.
Joe needs to start treating this like it's a Pokemon Nuzlocke and start playing around every hit as a potential crit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does so much damage on a crit.
Although I feel like I don't know how many goblins we're gonna want to take alive, so it might not matter.
again,
Like it's more just we have run into like now 2 creatures that we want to take alive, and it's just like, yeah. Anyway,
It is what it is.
yeah.
I'm like, no, and that's the thing. That's why I was like, just delay, and I can hand you the sap. He's like, oh, it'll be fine. What are the chances I'm gonna crit? Crits.
What's the chance of a crit? Well,
It was very funny though.
it was pretty good though. So yeah, it'll be interesting next Wednesday when we're back to a normal time and you guys can
Yeah, it was
basically-
weird playing on Thursday.
yeah. Well, hopefully,
It honestly, like, I felt so weird, but like, just my whole week just felt so thrown off.
like it was definitely one of those things that I didn't want to skip out 2 weeks, so kind of
No, I get it.
But like it definitely is just a weird time too.
I'm not
yeah.
saying it was. I'm not saying it was like the worst thing ever. I'm just saying my week felt very weird shopping
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
Wednesday for my
Yeah.
family, and
God. So we'll see about what happens then. I don't think I did anything on Friday. We did our normal gaming for me and Worm, and then unless you did something, Momo, I guess it's
No, I didn't do anything tabletop.
so. How'd your stuff go today, Worm?
we distributed loot. Then since we saw trolls a few sessions ago, we're like, oh, we need troll hound blood for a potion recipe, and so we went hunting for that and didn't find anything, and that was basically it.
Interesting.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. So we'll see how things go this next week for all of the adventures then.
True.
Interested to see what's going on for Lightning's game, and Joe's game should be the finale. And here's the thing.
You're free, maybe.
I'm holding out that maybe
Well-
it'll be a very interesting ending. I'm gonna see, what's going on.
Then
So
we have to play in his terrible homemade RPG, which
I will show up occasionally, but not for every
You
one
gotta
of
start
those.
saying no.
I
Uh,
told them that as well.
You gotta start saying no.
I just said I'll see. I haven't made a decision, honestly.
Well, literally, he said he only plans to do like one or two like shots, and my whole thing was like, look, I just want to leave some time open in case I need to help out with my family. With my dad having a
Very-
disease
yeah.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it was. I just needed a break, from it too a little bit too. It's been a
I
long game of that, and
Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now, like his game will not be fun.
look.
I could already tell.
I left that call at Mach speed because I didn't want to be asked.
like, and here's the thing. I had some fun with the first time he ran it that I was in, and Blaze, I think, had fun-ish in his games. I'll have to talk to him about that, what he thinks about that, because he was in the 2 games too. But I think the thing is, he made a lot of decisions in those games which weren't good. I think that's the way to say it there too. He made just a lot of like very anti-character decisions, and if he didn't make those, I think it would have been better.
So here's the thing, like the way it's gonna go is you start out with like maybe like if you really invest into something, maybe a 25 or 30% chance to hit with that skill. So you're just like it, and you need to level up to get anything better. And it's just it just sounds like it's gonna be like literally it's gonna be whoever hits first wins, and it's just gonna feel so luck based.
I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah. I haven't committed yet. I don't know. I'll see what I feel like.
Not to mention, like, for programming purposes, like, every single skill scales differently for no good reason.
Oh.
And so it's like, I'm gonna have to, like, manually do each skill.
I didn't realize that was the thing. And also, of course, it's the thing. God damn it. Yeah.
It's like, I can't just say, oh, if you're untrained, you have this. If you're an A, you have this. Also, the whole letter thing for skills is weird, but if you're B, you do this. If you're C, you do this. And it's like I could do that, or it'd be nice because then I could just make it based off like what it checks, and then. But no, and it also doesn't have a linear scale, so it's not like I can just do A goes to B goes to C. It's like each level is like a different tier. It's like nope. This one increases by 15. This one increases by 10. This one increases by 15. This one increases by 20.
It's the thing too. I have to say is like, I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of what my interest in possibly helping him with this is based around how well this game ends tomorrow, and I don't have high hopes for it. Unfortunately,
no, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be kind of. Then we're gonna get railroaded through a cutscene, and that's gonna be it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just, it's been a thing, and so I don't know. Like, it's just this entire thing about the game too. It's like I think this ending has soured a lot of it. I think it was fine up until the ending. Like I had bad points, but there were some okay points too. And like I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of the big battles were interesting. There's a couple that I really didn't like personally, and things like that. But a lot of these were around the ending, so I don't know.
Well, again, the thing is Joe's really plans around battles, and I think he does a good job balancing the battles and making them fun. But I know you don't, and that's the thing. You don't like them, and it's at the point in time where battles are. It's 2020, 2014 edition D&D, where the battles are really swingy, and like it just feels problematic.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Well, like again, like. I think it's the different ones too. It's like I didn't like the last battle with the guy, but if that was that final climatic battle and that's all we had, I think I would have been fine with that, But now we're having something else, and time travel.
Ooh.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Time travel makes no sense. It's already obvious to me, but oh well.
I mean, like again, I can see the time travel being there. It's just like, why do we have to have 4,000, 8,000 years? It's just the amount of time travel. It's like the level he's given us. I'm like, this is just an exuberant amount of time travel. And like, altering the timeline, I think, is the big thing here too. Like minor alterations or like stopping what happened, as I think we talked about the other week. I think that would have been fine, but like, it's just so extreme. Just too much for me. But anyway. It is what it is. We'll see how it goes. Maybe he'll stick the landing. I can't guarantee he won't. Can't say for sure. Anyway, we'll leave things here. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, why don't we have you, Worm, give your shout out, and we'll kind of pop on to unless you've got anything, Momo, I think you usually don't.
Nope, I don't got anything.
Okay, turn over to you.
I'm DiamondWyrm. You can find me on twitch.tv/DiamondWyrm or at DiamondWyrm on Twitter, Blue Sky, and YouTube.
Tomorrow? Not tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Thank you. My brain was like, what do I normally say next? Oh, yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow, Sunday.
Cool.
10:30 a.m. PDT.
Awesome. Hi. That's Dracovin. I should be back on Tuesday. I'll let people know it's scheduled. I'll figure it out. As I've kind of talked about, things have been chaotic in 3 ways. It's been the real world messing with me, a little bit of personal stuff messing with me, physically having a lot of issues for a little bit, and then now, in a kind of little bit half a mental funk that I've been dealing with. So I'll figure it out. I'll let people know. I'll be live at some point. I'll try to give people a couple hours of, ahead of time. So I'll try to do that at least. Let people know my schedule then. But I think that's kind of going to be the best is I'll let people know a couple hours ahead of time at this point in time, because just the amount of stuff that's been going on, I think when I get a guarantee, it's not a good idea at this point until things actually stabilize on some of those things, and can't guarantee it at this point. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right, everybody, have a good one. Make sure to join for Shadows Wednesday and this show again next Saturday, and hopefully these two can join me. And Diggin, thank you both for joining me. And yeah, everybody, I've got all links down below and stuff for Trace support me, so make sure you do it. Okay, everybody, have a good one. Bye.